Welcome back to Crime Besties, to the second last episode of the year, Meg. Can you even believe it?
No, it's still May, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm not ready for December at all.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, you've got a really good excuse not to be ready, so that is completely and utterly understandable.
Doesn't stop it happening, though.
No, it does. Unfortunately, no, it doesn't.
No.
It is coming at a very, very rapid pace.
It really is. Like, I honestly just don't feel like this is where we should be at this point in the year. I don't know. It's not feeling like normally the last few weeks of school and all those sorts of things, there's a vibe. I'm not feeling the vibe. And I know why I'm not feeling the vibe, but like it's making it really hard to like wrap
Get
up
in the
year.
spirit.
And actually, I'm one of those people who I need like a deadline looming on top of me to get shit done. And I'm not feeling that at the moment. I'm kind of like, there's this weird like, it's really not. Like,
she'll be right.
Yeah, she'll be right kind of attitude that I'm like, no, I need to freaking do shit. But it's not.
You also need the motivation then to do it. And given everything you've been through, I understand why it's not at the forefront.
No.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot, even if you've got nothing else going on.
No, exactly.
So,
Christmas is mental. I
actually caught up with a dad at school this morning.
Oh, don't you love dads at this time of year?
Oh, well, so he's like, oh, hi, I haven't seen you for ages. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, how are you? And I'm like, honestly, I feel like I'm limping towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
Although last year I felt worse. This year I'm feeling a bit more on top of things. Okay. But
well, when you finished all your fucking Christmas shopping already.
Yeah.
Bitch.
Sorry. And then he's like, oh, I was actually talking to someone else the other day and yeah, that's right. It was at cricket on Friday night. And they said the same thing. They're like limping towards the end and he's like, I just feel great. And I'm like, I'm not actually going to have this conversation with you, but I'm glad you feel great.
Maybe you should check in with your wife.
Yeah. Is she feeling like that too?
Yeah.
Is she feeling just as great as you? Because I can pretty much assure you she's probably not.
No, exactly. Oh, God.
So
oblivious to it.
Oh, yeah.
It's weird. There's like all this stuff just comes to the
it
house.
just arrives
and it all just like gets done.
And I don't even know what we're getting everyone.
Oh, that one. Yeah. I still love that whole, like, when the kids open the presents and like, dad looks just as excited and surprised as the kids.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm going like, oh no, open the other one first because, no, that one comes
that
first.
That pertains to that or whatever. Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, we take it on and as we do every year. But yeah,
it's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah. But I do love it. I love Christmas. And one of my kids in particular this year is so into Elf on the Shelf. Like
don't even that frigging thing. Yes.
We've got Kevin and Alfie.
Kevin.
And this year Kenzie came along. So we've got 3. But my eldest is...
One isn't enough. I don't know how you do 3. That's just
I
thought
don't.
process of like, well,
yeah. My eldest is taking care of that now. So, making sure the elves are attended to and everything's all good. So
it's the worst, going to bed at night and going, oh, fuck the elf.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, my God. Like this morning, I had, I do these things to myself, I think, but
we do. We're gluttons for punishment,
I think.
Oh, my
God. Set up the elf with like a note that was printed that said like, shh, don't read this out loud. I've put a spell on your mum and she can't read it. And, but I've also put a spell on her so that she'll say whenever you ask her, can I have these lollies that are on the table?
Oh, Meg.
She'll say, yes, of course. So, yeah.
Oh, God. So how many lollies did they have?
That's why I limited it to what was on the plate.
Yeah, okay. It was pre-portioned. Good move.
But
Very
it was
good
still
move.
more than I would ever let them eat, in the morning.
Otherwise, good luck to the teachers, honestly.
Totally,
because
especially
even
my
just
youngest.
thinking the advent calendars, that kids would be consuming before school.
Well, that's it. I know they're already eating those. I purposely got like a Lego one this year as well.
Yeah,
just to like. And they're loving doing that one so that next year I can then wean them off of the lolly one.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, no, but you love that one so much.
It's
doing the
so
Lego.
Good.
Stop fighting over who's going to make it.
Yeah, guys, come on.
Oh, my God. It's all just, a balancing act, isn't it?
Isn't it? We put up all of our Christmas decorations last week and as we said in last week's episode, of course, the putting of the star had to be, thankfully, it was written down. And then it was Lucas's turn this year and he gets up and he goes, Mum, I am so honoured to put the star on top of the Christmas tree. I've got to show you the photo. He was beaming.
Oh, that is
just thought it was
so
the best thing in the
gorgeous.
world. So that was so cute.
So they're the stuff that, like, you know, that's the stuff that you really like.
Definitely.
You want that stuff, but all the other shit you got to go through to get
I know. There's as many ups as there are downs, that's for sure.
Is there as many? Balancing act.
That's it.
Yes. Oh, God.
Do you want to give everyone an update on our TikTok?
Oh, God. Oh, my God, people. So, obviously, Spotify Wrapped came out this week, which amazing. I went to share on socials, opened up our TikTok, and what's there? We've been locked out and our account has been shut down. So
we don't know why. We know we've breached some rule or something.
It said something about network, automated network connecting, or something real weird that basically I think we're, you know, terrorists or something.
Yeah,
I've got no idea. I've done nothing
Just
different.
too much crime.
I don't know. We've done nothing wrong. There was no violations before. Normally you get like, I get a few community violations here and there, like, you know, because we've used the word kill or something,
Death
you know.
or something, yeah.
Yeah. It was the one when we did the US school shootings.
Yeah.
Did not like those at all. It kept giving us violations for those.
Yeah.
But everything else has been fine, really.
Yeah.
So, yeah, all of a sudden, bang. But not only just a violation, it's your account's gone. Done. It's wiped. I have appealed it. I don't know that we'll get it back. I think it might be gone. So, I don't know whether we'll try again with TikTok or not.
We had like a really huge amount of followers.
Yeah, there was close to
there,
4,000 followers over there on TikTok. So, look,
we could build that back up.
We could potentially. I don't know. I'll see what we want to do, but I'll give it it says like could be up to 7 days for them to make a decision on the appeal. So we'll give it that time. If they reinstate us, great. If not, maybe we'll give it a crack and start again. Yeah, and we'll send it out
about that.
Check it out and to refollow. But at the moment, come over to Instagram or Facebook. We're there on both. Probably more so on Instagram these days. The same stuff gets posted pretty much, but just move on over there for the moment. Like, I don't know, is TikTok worth it these days? The algorithm had certainly it was great for us when we first started, and I really like I think that's what's so sad about it. TikTok really gave us our push out, I think, to really get the word out to begin with, and it was so good for us. But it's died in the last. I mean, we've probably been saying it for the last few months anyway, that we're just not getting the amount of views.
Figure out the algorithm.
No, previously we're getting thousands of views on our stuff. Now we're getting 100.
Yeah.
A couple of hundred.
And like, is it worth it? It's a lot of extra work.
It is extra work. I mean, just going off of Instagram and Facebook, you post once for both. It's kind of nice and easy to do that. Whereas it's a separate upload for TikTok, which is fine. It's not the end of the world, but I don't know. We'll see how we go.
Yeah. Stay tuned. But if you're looking for us over on TikTok and why we haven't posted, that's why.
Can't find us.
We've been banned.
Yeah, okay. I didn't do anything. I promise.
Another place that you can come and have a look at us, though, is over on Patreon if you want to join us over there. So we have a bestie tier that's $5 a month. Yeah. You can cancel at any time. So if you just want to come over and check out what we've released there, you can see all of our back episodes. So the Patreon
and without
episodes without ads.
Yeah.
And this week we released one that I recorded with producer Pete. Meg, what was your favourite part of that?
Oh, freaking! It's in context.
Yeah.
It's talking about, you asked Peter if he actually knew certain people relating to stories, because he's not an avid true crime person, but he listens to every podcast of ours because we're bounced. And so you were asking him if he knew who John Bonet was prior to listening to the episode, and his response was, "Oh, I do get her confused with Honey Boo Boo."
He's like, they're both pageanty, aren't they? I'm like, they couldn't be more further apart, really.
I just that was my favourite quote.
Yeah. So if you want to listen,
there though,
if you want to listen to an episode with producer Pete, head on over to Patreon.
Very great. No, it was great, and I really appreciate it too, because Peter's obviously stepping in for me for a session. So that was so good, worth it,
totally. He was saying that he really didn't want to do it, but I was like, no, you've got to do it. Come on,
Suck it
put your
up.
big girl pants on and let's get it done. And at the end of it, he's like, oh, it actually wasn't as bad as I thought. Like, I think the anticipation of it was worse than actually then recording it.
Yeah.
But listening back, he's like, oh, I hate the way I sound.
Oh.
I'm like, we all hate the way we sound.
Yeah, welcome to us listening to our episodes.
Yeah. I was chatting with one of my workmates. I think I've mentioned her on the podcast a few times before, a tractor. She came and saw me yesterday. And we were just I can't even remember how it came up, but I was saying I just can't stand the sound of my own voice when I'm listening.
No.
Even listening to us at 1.5, I feel like it just makes my voice more irritating.
Set it to 2.
And, yeah. Okay.
Just keep
I'll
going
try
faster.
I'll try it. And she's like, no, she's like, I know everyone thinks their own voice sounds bad on recording, but she's like, it's not. It's fine. I'm like, oh, thanks, Attractor. That's lovely.
My mum even says that we say that we sound the same.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm like, no.
Oh, you and I?
No.
God,
Emma's
no.
way louder than me.
Oh, yeah. We have to tone my whatever.
Right down on
Yeah.
the Scarlet.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Really?
How old do you know me?
Yeah, that's what she's your mother after all. Oh, I love it.
Oh,
I
God.
love it. Speaking
Turn the
of
hearing
Patreon,
aids up, Patty.
What was that?
Turn the hearing aids up, Patty.
Maybe listen with an earbud.
Maybe.
That might be a way to go.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a good idea for a Christmas present.
Oh, she's got them.
Oh, okay. I love how I whispered that thinking she might not hear it.
Oh, no, she'll be like, what are they on about?
Yep. Speaking of Patreon, though, we do have 2 new Patreons this week.
Yes.
Lynn Curry, my mum. Thanks,
Lynn.
Mum. And Dad, because they're sharing an account.
Loved it that she worked it out. Or,
Well, no, I did it for her.
Yeah, got it.
Oh, and it was like, oh my God.
Oh,
it was
kill
like
you
pulling
now.
teeth because, we had to log into Google and then we forgot the Google password. So we had to- anyway.
Yeah, I've been there.
But appreciate it, Mum and Dad. Thank you.
Yes.
And then,
Welcome.
and then we've got Beck McKeering as well, who's joined us this week. So thank you very, very much to both of you.
Yes.
We've had coffees bought for us by Christy Kay, who's just found us and is really enjoying our back catalogue of episodes. So thank you very, very much for that. And then, yeah, we've had some really lovely comments as well. We've actually had so many pertaining to with your dad passing away and how lovely people have been.
Amazing. Thank you so much for all the love for that. It's been so. I was at one particular person. I was actually messaging back and forth with a fair bit, and that's the thing. I just said this community has really helped me get through this tough stuff because it's just to know that people care is so lovely,
isn't it?
No, it's really, really been beautiful, and I really appreciate everyone for it. So I love our little community we've created here. It's so
and
good.
I think at times like this, it really can bring out the best in people.
Yeah. Yep.
And as difficult as it is and as awful as it is for you and your family and for all of the people who loved your dad.
Yeah.
You really do see the goodness in people.
100%. I was only having this conversation yesterday with someone about our lives are so busy and things these days with, that when something happens, she was talking about, the margin on a page, everyone needs to have a margin, instead of running your life to an absolute nth degree, you need to have a little bit of space where you can, if something goes wrong, you've got that bit of room to move to. And I'm like, yeah, I don't have that room to move to. And I said, but what I've learned through what I've gone through at the moment is even though I don't have a margin, the people in my life have been my margin, because so many people have come to the forefront of supporting us and doing things that it's just been so amazing that I've realized that it's not how many friends you've got, it's the quality of those few that you have that just step up when you need them.
Yeah.
And it blows me away. I'll get really emotional, so I'll just move on. But the margin is important, but it's however you in your life need that margin. Because I was saying I can't go reducing my hours at work. That's a financial decision, things like that. But I want to do my podcast and I want to, that's for me and all these things that you put in your life that you go, yeah, no, there's no room to move. But if you've got the right people around you, you've got room to move without letting go of other things.
That is a really interesting concept. I've never actually heard that before. So that's really interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. We had a very in-depth conversation at basketball training.
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing the things that will come up when you're sitting there with nothing else to do.
I know.
Kids train for the umpteenth time this year.
Love that.
Yeah.
There's not someone I talk to that regularly too,
Yeah,
but it was
okay.
really
That's
really amazing.
Really lovely.
Really
like
good.
that's a really good way of looking at things.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I mean, these are the times when you can lean on your people to support you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I haven't had to even ask, like, I mean, God, you amazing.
Oh, don't even
Get me started. Yeah, but that's the people you need in your life.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I hope everyone's got that. And if you don't, they're out there. You just need to keep looking for them.
Yep.
And yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
And also go with our community here.
Oh, this is it.
We are building a really lovely community of people, and we really appreciate everyone.
Oh, every comment, as much as I say there's the people immediately with you, but those people that are just saying a comment that here and there that builds you up and makes you feel like I can keep going, I can keep doing, because
speaking of which, we had a really great comment from Cara Jane this week.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, oh, thank God you've released another podcast. Now I can clean my house again. And I'm like, oh, great. I'm really happy for you and the cleanliness of your house.
I love that. I can just imagine my house is like that too when I don't listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
It doesn't get done.
And then we actually had another really funny another really nice comment from a new listener named Natalia. I feel like she's only just found us.
Yeah.
And she's like, you guys really sound like my people. I'm super getting into this sort of thing. So thanks, Natalia, and welcome.
Yes.
Just really quickly as well, I did want to mention a new podcast has come out. It was released this week. It's the new season of the Unravel podcast, released by the ABC, and it was created by Rachel Brown.
She's awesome.
She did the Maria James, the long form podcast, the Trace podcast of Maria James. She's done lots of things. She was on the Mushroom Case, the ABC's Mushroom Case Daily podcast, and she's incredible. She's an incredible investigative journalist.
Yep.
And she has released the full season of Unravel called Huntsman. And it is in relation to Greg Lynn. So he is the man who was convicted of the murder of Carol Clay.
Just Carol Clay.
Yeah, just Carol Clay in Wonangata.
Yeah.
And he's currently in prison, but he's
appealing.
He's appealing. Yeah, we'll get to all that when it comes out. We'll talk about it for sure. We'll update everyone. But this podcast is in relation to his first marriage to his wife Lisa,
which we spoke about.
Yeah, we alluded to this we didn't know any detail then because it wasn't allowed to be released.
No, we only knew little
very
bits,
minimal.
very minimal bits.
I think we knew where
we
her
sort of
body
said
was
it at the
found.
we said at the time that it's being reopened and looked into.
Yeah, and there were suspicious circumstances, but we didn't know much. There wasn't much else out there because there was a media ban on it.
Yes.
That was literally lifted last week, I believe, and that's why because Rachel was saying she's had this on ice for
This
years.
is the thing. That's the thing because it was so long ago that it occurred.
Yeah.
There had to have been more about it, kind of thing. And that's why I was alluding to the fact that it's got to come out. There's going to be more to this. But nothing changes in terms of time other than people actually speaking out. So hopefully this is the moment and something will come of it because my gut instinct is that he'll get off of Carol Clay. And so hopefully then he'll go down for that.
Yeah.
And maybe even the neighbours. And then maybe we'll find out who died in the Northern Territory.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's wait and see.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot there, a lot to unpack.
Yeah, I think
it's an incredible podcast, guys. Go over there after you finish listening to this, obviously.
Totally.
Head on over there and give her a listen because I just love her.
She's great. She's really,
awesome.
really good. Yeah.
Very good. So this week we are discussing the Last Stop Larrimah disappearance of Paddy Moriarty. Now, in preparation for this, obviously, we watched the Last Stop Larrimah HBO documentary, which is on Netflix at the moment. Well, it's been on Netflix for a while and it's still on there. So please do yourselves a favour.
If you haven't watched it,
you need to
must.
It's a two-parter. I think the episodes are maybe 50 or 60 minutes each. Yeah, it's not a massive time commitment, but bloody hell is it worth it.
It's from fantastic. Both angles of a mystery crime kind of situation, but the characters. So I'd watched this ages ago when it first came out, and I remembered it. I sort of remembered what was said and what was done in it. So when I was researching this, Oliver was like, "Can I watch it with you?" And I was like, "Actually, you know what? You can. There's some swearing, gruesome. And that's right. There's nothing gruesome. There's some swearing. It's not like he doesn't hear swearing otherwise." What?
Oh, actually, speaking of swearing, I got a new phone this week, and I texted you yesterday, and I was like, "What the fuck?" But it auto-corrected to "What the duck."
I looked at my phone and saw that and went, "That's not Emma."
I'm like, "Oh, isn't that cute?" My new phone doesn't realize that I always mean fuck. I never mean duck.
Say duck.
So I've got to train my new phone. But anyway, so Ollie watched it with me and he was so invested. Like, as in, he's telling me what notes to write, what information he thinks is really important. And he was so invested in like who liked who and
who
all
was
of the
having
characters in it, because it is such a great story.
Well, it is. It is. If nothing else, this is a incredible story. Like, and so there's Australia. The way Australia is viewed from externally from Australia, this is, I think, what everyone thinks we all like.
Yeah.
But we as Australians are fascinated by these Australians.
That's right. That's right. Because I mean, how many people actually live like that?
It's, I mean, probably not today, these days, like it's not that many, but maybe back in the day there was a lot more of this style of living. I don't know.
Maybe.
Because I went into a whole rabbit hole of like real estate in the area.
Yeah.
Like, it blows my mind.
How cheap it is.
But also then like, I mean, but even then, like how do people pay for that and why, and what's your return on that? Like, it's not an investment really, is it?
Absolutely not. We can talk about that more as we get to it, because that fascinated me too.
Like, it just really fascinates me why people make those decisions.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
All right, let's get going. So Patrick Joseph Moriarty was born on the 30th of March in 1947 in Limerick, Ireland. His mother's name was Mary Teresa Moriarty, and he doesn't know who his dad is.
Yeah.
There was no father listed on his birth certificate at all.
Yeah.
When he was 18, he moved to Australia. He came over on the Fair Star, and he had no relatives here. So I actually couldn't find what his motivation was. I don't know that he's ever spoken about why he decided to come to Australia, but obviously he was looking for a bit of an adventure.
Work, that sort of thing, I think. Just
that's
a different,
what it was?
because I mean, he was sort of a station hand, that kind of, work. So it maybe just that it was a pull of what Australia had to offer in terms of that sort of style of work.
I just assumed that he fell into that when he came over.
No, he did that back home too, a little bit. Like, he was only young. He was only 18, 19 when he arrived here.
Yeah.
So, it was certainly, that was what he was interested in working as.
Okay.
So
then that kind of makes
maybe
sense.
that's all it was. But yeah, it wasn't sort of specifically stated from him that that's why. But that's kind of the vibe I got.
I believe he was quite a skilled cattle musterer. That was like one of his specific skills and made him sort of fairly employable on cattle stations.
Exactly.
And he also worked as a road grader driver as well at some point in that time.
Yeah.
He loved himself a rodeo. Now, okay, I got my nails done last night.
Oh, God. Okay, where have we gone with this?
And I don't even, so I was getting my nails done and the tech was saying, she's like, "Oh, what are you up to this weekend?" And I was like, "Oh, I've got my work Christmas party." And she goes, "Oh, the person who came in right before you has her Christmas party this weekend as well. And she's going to the rodeo." And I'm like, "Oh, what? I didn't even know we had rodeos in Australia." She's like,
Australia, but not local.
Well, apparently just in the Yarra Valley they do them.
Oh, I have heard them doing it that way, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, right. I didn't even know we did." Like, not in Victoria. Like, not in, suburban Melbourne,
Not in
really.
suburbia, no. But a bit further out.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay. That's an interesting choice for a Christmas party still.
I don't know what industry this person was in, but it is an interesting choice.
Yeah.
I guess it's something different.
I can come at it like something fun and different to do.
Yeah.
I find them really, like, rodeos, even when I've watched a few, like, I haven't been to anything live, let's just say that, but like, I don't know, that they scare the shit out of me, those bulls. Like,
oh, yeah. No, hold on. Are you thinking?
Horse ones?
Yeah, I think it's a horse rodeo.
Oh, okay. So what's the difference?
Or are you thinking of like
when the bull, like,
no, like bullfighting?
Bullfighting.
That's
rodeo.
No,
they
that's
ride the bull.
bullfighting.
They ride the bull.
Oh, the bucking bull.
Yeah.
But aren't they horses?
No, they're bulls. They get on the bull.
Do they?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought a rodeo was anyway, whatever. Paddy liked a rodeo.
What do they do on the horses? Do they get to? Is it the same sort of thing,
I thought so.
like a non-broken in horse kind of situation?
Maybe. Yeah, I thought so.
Well, that's less scary. But I mean, well, not that you want a horse stepping on you or anything like that. But
no,
but they're nice.
Yeah,
But
I don't know.
bulls aren't. Okay,
or
I'm
maybe
lost.
me too. We're gonna have to do some research on rodeos.
Totally. Todio.
Todio. So he won a belt buckle in Darwin in 1996. I believe it was quite a coveted prize that he won rodeoing, whatever that actually is. I don't know. He had a partner for a long time named Dorothy Rankin. She worked on the stations with him, and their relationship, I feel like it was possibly one of convenience. They were sort of there and with each other.
Yeah.
Because as soon as she retired, they separated. She moved away, and that was kind of the end of the relationship.
Is it maybe a little bit of, and which I think pops up later, it's like, small doses of Paddy, and maybe when retirement hit, it was like, whoa, this is a bit too much.
I don't even think he'd retired though, but I think she'd retired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be enough maybe.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. She moved away and went, probably I'm done with that now. He then had another relationship between 2000 and 2003 with somebody, and then from that point onward, I don't think he had any further relationships after that.
No.
Paddy was quite a small man. He was only 165 centimetres tall. I can say that because I'm 165 centimetres tall. So
for a man,
that's pretty short. But you look at him in the documentary and he was little. Like, he wasn't a big bloke by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah.
In 2006, so health-wise, he was doing okay. In 2006, he was diagnosed with ischemic heart disease and had to have some stents put in. But otherwise, he was actually quite healthy.
Yeah, fit as a melly ball, as they'd say.
Well, isn't it? But then you look at how much beer he consumed, which I actually did some calculations of that. Because
well preserved, maybe.
My mind. Definitely well preserved. A bit pickled, maybe.
Yeah.
In 2008, he moved from Daily Waters to Larrimah.
Mm-hmm. And that was 2005.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, 2005,
okay.
I think. Yeah.
And in 2010, he bought a disused servo in Larrimah, which was called the top end of the paddock.
Top of the town.
Top of the town, that's right. God, where did I get paddock from?
Yeah.
For $30,000.
$30,000. Wow.
It was pretty run down. Like, all of the dwellings and businesses in Larrimah, I'm going to say it, they are pretty dilapidated.
Yeah.
Nothing's really been upkept. And
well, I mean, the weather alone out there
for sure.
would cause damage to things very quickly. Like, nothing would stay new for long due to that, I'd say.
We're talking outback Northern Territory. So Larrimah is 158 kilometres south of Katherine, which is the next sort of biggest town, really, on the Stuart Highway. And at the time of Paddy's disappearance, it had somewhere between 10 and 12 residents, depending on who you asked at the time.
I find that hilarious.
Like, most places say 11, but then some places say 10, some places say 12.
Well, it depends on who you count as being residents.
That's true.
Too, because
there was a bit slight transient population there. There would be people who'd come for the wet season and then go away for the dry season.
Because the wet season's when the good weather comes.
That's right, exactly. There's no mobile phone reception in Larrimah, so that gives you an idea of how remote it is.
There's one phone box down out the front of Fran's, which we'll get to.
Which is down the Paddy's end of Larrimah.
Yeah.
When we say down the end, it's like one road.
It's not far.
It's not far. From the north end to the south end, it's not very far.
No.
We can actually even pop the map stuff on the socials,
for
do you
sure.
reckon?
Yeah.
So the next town that actually has like mobile phone service and like a little general store and slightly more services than Larrimah is Mataranka, and that's 76 kilometres away.
Yeah.
So 76 kilometres towards Katherine. But
you're talking like a couple of hour drive just to get to an
hour there and back, like just to restock on things.
I think one of them said like it was a 19-hour outing to do the grocery shopping.
Yeah, so they'd go to Katherine. Fran would go and get her hair done. All of the characters will discuss
we'll get to that.
But it was like a 19-hour round trip to go and get your hair done, do some shopping, go to your appointments.
And come home.
Yeah.
It was a 19-hour job.
How crazy is that?
Yeah.
We just don't get it. And I think people like who live internationally as well have no concept of how vast Australia is.
Yeah.
And especially in the Red Centre, especially in the desert.
Yeah. But even I've been to Katherine. It's not like you're hitting a big city.
No.
That is a country town. It's what I would class a country town.
But that's the big
from the
smoke.
city.
That's the big smoke for those
it's
from
big
Laramie.
smoke to them. When you think about the progression of that, of where you're going, it's not even Darwin, which again, Darwin I would call a little big city.
Yeah.
You know, like it's nothing
And
much
what
out
Darwin's like 800 kilometres away from Larrimah, I
Yeah.
think. So that just gives you a bit of an
Yeah.
idea of the distance. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So Larrimah has a pub, the Larrimah Hotel or the Pink Panther pub, because one of the publicans at one point decided to attract people.
Yeah.
He'd make it Pink Panther themed.
Well, no, I think there's a Pink Panther out the front already.
Okay.
And so he embraced the Pink Panther.
Right.
And painted the whole pub pink. Because what would happen is people would, back in the day when you would need, you know, fuel at more stops, when your car wouldn't carry as much fuel, you'd have to make sure you stopped in Larrimah because the next stop was too far away to wait for fuel kind of thing. So that would bring people to the town and they would use the pub then as well. But as our fuel tanks have gotten bigger and the cars can last longer, they don't stop as often for fuel. So they needed to attract them elsewhere in other ways to like stop. So by painting the pub pink, it sort of was supposed to like get people to go, oh, what's that? You know, like, let's stop here. So that's why. So yeah, embrace the Pink Panther. There was like a wooden carved Pink Panther out the front.
Several of them.
Yeah. And so he embraced that
Yeah.
and painted the rest of the pub pink.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. It's just like such a random thing.
It's
like,
so random,
why
really.
Pink Panther out in the middle of bumfuck nowhere? It's crazy. So there's accommodation at the pub and there's a zoo. I'm going to say zoo in inverted commas.
How many animals equates to a zoo?
Well, they've got 700 birds.
Yeah, I guess it's
in
the
an
birds,
aviary
isn't it?
there.
Yeah.
And 2 crocodiles. Like big fuck off crocodiles. one in particular was like a massive crocodile.
It was given to him by Bob Irwin.
Oh yeah, so this is didn't he give Bob Irwin his first
I've heard it
crocodile?
both ways around, actually, now you say that.
So what I heard was that he gave Bob Irwin his first crocodile, and and then he's obviously gone back to Queensland,
Right.
and essentially started what became
Zoo.
Australia Zoo,
Which is, we're talking about Steve Irwin's father.
Yeah.
So not Robert Irwin, who's
No.
the grandson. He's named after his grandfather. He just turned 21, and that's
my
so wrong of me.
God, I know. Did you watch him on Dancing with the Stars?
Uh-huh.
Oh my God, he could not be more perfect.
Oh, he's, in so many ways, I hope my kid grows up to be like him because
Same.
he is such a beautiful person.
Oh, and the picture of positive masculinity.
Yes.
Oh, we could talk about him forever.
Yes.
Yep.
Rate him so
Rate
much.
him so highly. He's
Well done to Steve and Terry.
100%.
Yeah, because in the spotlight, it could have gone
Oh, easily gone the
so
other
many
way.
wrong ways.
So our mate Paddy was a regular at the pub. One of his jobs was cleaning the toilets, showers, and the hotel rooms at the pub.
It wasn't really his job though. Like, as in, like, he just did that. He didn't. I don't know that he got like paid.
I believe he got paid.
Did he?
I believe, but it was like not a
in
lot.
beer.
No.
No?
He used to pay for his beer. So I think he did get paid. It wasn't a huge amount of money, but it was enough to tick him over.
Well, this is the thing that I go. How do they live? Like, what do you?
I know.
Yeah.
I know. He also tended to the garden a little bit.
Yeah.
So he'd do all of his chores in the morning and then he would go and sit in the pub in the afternoon. I'll chat a little bit more about his routines a little bit later on.
Very strict routine.
Very strict routine. So at the other end of Laramie, to the pub, was Fran's tea house. So Fran's famous pies.
God, they look disgusting.
Oh, they looked so gross.
There's no way I'd eat that.
I wouldn't eat it.
No way.
So the pies were like camel and buffalo.
They did have beef on the menu, but still, I'm not.
And then I look at them like, how's the refrigeration in a place like that?
That was
Did
exactly,
that get you too?
Got me too. Yeah. I mean, she did talk about having deep freezers and stuff, but like, I don't know.
I know.
just don't trust it.
I know.
They did not look good when she was stirring those
But did you also see the bit where she was like scooping the meat into the
looked
pastry
dry
cases
as
and it
hell.
looked like fatty as all fuck as well? I'm
I
like,
love a meat pie, but like,
Oh, same, but it did not appeal to me at all.
No.
But she,
sorry, Fran.
Fran. Don't come for us. But she had every sign. This is the bit that I just loved about her. All these signs up about Fran's famous pies, only $6. Come in and she always had deals going and.
Oh,
was
you
always
always got a
wheeling
free
and
teddy with your meal.
That's bizarre. Where did she get those
She
from?
make them and stuff.
What?
So she worked on a particular Elvis Presley movie.
Oh, yes.
Yes. And she made the teddies for that movie.
Okay. So that was in her youth, I
Yes,
think, wasn't
yes.
it? And yeah, she was a toy maker. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right. So were they left? So she just had so many left
She just
over.
collected and stuff, like kind of stuff. And she would
Right.
then like hand out ones.
But they all look dirty and they were all on the ground.
oh my
Like they
God.
were all on the floor. I wouldn't let my kid have one of those.
No. I'd be like, oh, thanks for that.
Thanks. Into the bin, into the cat bin.
Yeah.
So, as you said before, opposite Fran's tea house was the top of the town, old disused service station that Paddy was living in.
Yes.
And the only phone box in Larrimah.
Mm-hmm.
So Paddy had a dog, and
Yes.
in December of 2016, his dog Rover died. And in November 2017, he was given a red Kelpie by the name of Kelly. So apparently Kelly was supposed to be a working dog, belonged to a friend of his. But Kelly didn't want to be a working dog. She was more suited to being a pet. So in these circumstances where, you don't really have the means to look after working animals that are not pulling their weight, Paddy sort of took on responsibility and took on Kelly.
Yes.
And they had a very, very close, pet dog. They loved each other.
It was his person, like, as in, like,
No, for real.
Absolutely.
That's
I love that. I
what
love
she
those
was.
relationships with dogs. I just think that's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Kelly went everywhere with him, everywhere.
So she'd go on the back of he had a quad bike.
Yeah.
She'd go in the front seat in his full drive, and she was always with him.
Yeah.
Always, always with him, which I love.
I love that.
Oh, I'd love, yeah. That's so nice. As we were alluding to before, Paddy loved his routine. He was very structured, very
particular,
ordered, very particular, very clean. Now, we talked about the dwellings in Larimer being really dilapidated.
Rundown.
Needing a fair bit of TLC probably. Yeah. But that didn't actually stop Paddy from having an incredibly neat and tidy home. Everything was ordered.
Yeah, or everything had a place.
And
it was always put in the same spot.
Yeah, and everything was labelled. Like, he was meticulous. Everything was absolutely spotless. He always wore a hat.
Yes, he was bald, but people didn't even know. Like, he lived with a hat on his head all the time.
Never. Then there was
never took it off.
He either wore a cap, or this white, disgusting looking cowboy hat. You've seen photos of it, and just
it's
the
so
sweatband
well
around it. I'm like, oh yeah, yeah. But he would always
absolutely. The only time he took his hat off was literally to put his head down to go to bed, sort of stuff. It was, if it was in his home, the hat came off, but.
That was it.
Whenever anyone else was with him in the home or out of the home, his hat was on.
And I think that's really interesting that, like, he was obviously so self-conscious of being bald that people didn't, he would cover his head so that people didn't know he was bald.
I wonder, though, if it was that or just purely, knowing people of... Yeah, people of that ilk, though, tend to just wear hats all the time too.
Yeah, I think there's obviously an element of that. If you're living in the outback, you need to be wearing a hat
should wear
every
a hat,
day. But I think he was quite self-conscious.
Self-conscious of that?
Yeah, I think so. So not only was he ordered and meticulous with his possessions and that kind of thing, he was also very ordered and particular in the way he carried out his daily routine.
Yes.
Every morning he would walk his dog down Rubbish Dump Road.
I love that, Rubbish Dump Road.
Yeah, I know.
Because where does it go? The Rubbish Dump.
And that's the only other road in Larrimah.
Yeah.
Literally. He'd circle back home. He would then ride his quad bike to the hotel with Kelly on the back.
Yeah.
He worked until around midday most days, so working by cleaning, reorganising, changing the linen at the hotel.
There'd be that many people staying there?
Well, it was only enough to keep him busy for an hour or two, so probably not.
Bit of gardening, bit of this, bit of that. And then it was beer o'clock.
Yep. So around midday he would go to have some beers at the hotel, and he would then stay until like 4:30, 5 o'clock most days and go away. So every single day at around midday he would withdraw $40 from like the FPOS machine at the pub.
Yep.
He would spend his first $20 on 4 beers, so $5 a beer, right?
Yep.
He had a little fridge out the front of the Larrimah Hotel. So he'd buy his four 4X cans.
Yep.
4X Gold. He'd put the beers in the fridge out the front of the pub. He would sit in the same seat, crack his coldies.
Crack his tinnies.
Have the 4 beers. Then he'd go inside, pay the next $20 that he'd already withdrawn, get another 4, And that's how he lived his life every fucking day. Now, that's 8 beers a day.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. I've got the calculations here. So it was something like here we go. $14,600 a year just on the 8 beers a day.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's a lot of beer.
Probably talking to the wrong person about this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of beer.
Yeah.
And I think you're right when you say he pickled himself because he didn't.
It's very consistent. Well, very consistent drinking though. Like he would have probably his body would have become very accustomed to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it is technically binge drinking, but at the same time,
I guess
for
by
him,
the
it's
definition.
not.
Yeah.
But, like for him, that was his body standard.
Yeah.
So it's interesting on a scientific perspective of what the body can do and accommodate
100%.
to. Of like that it probably didn't. I mean, if I walked into a pub today and drank 8 beers, I'd be shit-faced.
Yeah.
But I could imagine him sitting there over that period of time drinking those 8 beers and probably appearing to be no more
it
than
depends.
tipsy.
Yeah, it depends who you talk to.
Yeah.
And look, I'm not saying that he only had 8 beers every day. He had a minimum of 8 beers every day.
Yeah, I was going to say if there's particular people who've arrived at the pub and he's on for a chat, he probably did stay longer and have more.
And people said that there were actually two different accounts of this, and I think it really depended on who gave the account.
Yeah.
But some people said that as he got more inebriated, he became really jovial and
very
chatty and like a little bit obnoxious maybe.
Was definitely a word used.
And then other people said that like he could get nasty and like really fixated on things and really like drill down into people, which was never well received.
No.
So,
he felt like and I can know people in my life that, can do this, that they get very, as you say, fixated on something, and he would to the nth degree defend that person or whatever, or his action, or, so that can be really draining on other people around when they can't see another perspective on something, no matter what you tell them. And when you've been drinking that much, I can imagine him just being very like blinded to this is my point.
Yes, definitely. So look, in a town, so my dad comes from a very, very small hamlet. It's not even a town in northern Victoria. And everyone knows everyone's business. Now, there were slightly more people than in Larrimah, but not that many more.
Yeah.
But I remember as kids, we would drive into the town and my grandparents would know that we were there.
Yeah, before we'd even got there
because nothing happens in that town with everyone being on the phone and, Lynn and Russell and the kids are here. And, that it's just crazy because honestly, they don't really have a lot else to do.
No.
Like they're all sitting out on their porches, probably drinking a beer, and they know the car because they know everything about everyone.
About everything,
And it's so, I think in situations like that when you're living in each other's pockets, and absolutely that was the case in Larimer, conflicts are going to occur.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, when you're not getting variety, that's all you're getting every day.
The same 12-ish people.
And it's probably the same stories being told every day.
That's it.
Because he's having that many beers, he's not actually understanding that we talked about this yesterday.
Yeah. There's enough there that the memory is probably going.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to get now to the day of Paddy's disappearance, and then we're going to introduce all the cast of characters after we explain what happened to Paddy, because I think what happened to Patti, knowing then the cast of characters will give it a bit of context. And I'm really curious to see. I'm so curious to see what you think about all this.
Oh, God.
Okay, so Saturday the 16th of December 2017.
Yeah.
Paddy followed his normal routine, of course.
Yep.
He's taken Kelly for a walk in the morning. At 9 a.m, he's ridden his quad bike to the hotel and cleaned the toilets and showers there. I don't believe anyone had been staying at the hotel that night.
No.
So he just did a general tidy up because people would still use the loos, obviously.
Yeah.
He then went to the bar at 2:29 p.m. He withdrew his $40.
Yeah.
And he also made an FPOS transaction to buy the first round of beers that day. And obviously went through, put his beers outside and went and sat down. Now, on this particular day, there was a family who were travelling through Larrimah who stopped for a quick drink and at the pub,
Yeah.
and they had young kids and they wanted to show their young kids the zoo. Imagine being like to our kids, oh yeah, guys, we're going to stop at the zoo. And then they're like, oh God, it's like literally 2 crocodiles and 700 birds. What kind of a shit zoo is this? And the mum took a photo of the pub, and you can see, I think this photo was taken at about 4:00 in the afternoon, and you can see Paddy sitting in his normal chair, and, you know, everything was as it always is.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
As it became dusk, Paddy and Kelly hop on the quad bike and
That
head
family
home.
did also give them some
absolutely.
chicken that was left over from their lunch to give to the dog. So, because obviously, I mean, I reckon Kelly would be pretty, families that did stop, they'd love seeing her and probably, kids having a pat, whatever. But they've said, we've got some leftover chicken from lunch, do you want to take it for the dog to give to the dog and which Paddy was like, oh my God, Kelly will love that. So he's taken that with him as well when he's left the pub that night too, to pop into Kelly's dinner for the night too. So yeah. Yeah.
That becomes
a little bit.
Oh, it's a meaningful part of the story.
I think. Yeah.
So he's gone home, roast chicken in hand.
Yeah.
And he actually said to the pub owner, Barry Sharp, that he wouldn't be in the following day. So the following day was Sunday. And because they had nobody staying that night, I think there was no need for him to be at
And
work.
he also wanted to borrow the lawnmower from Barry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think at the time, Paddy had a ride-on lawnmower, and it was in getting serviced at the mechanic, which is what were their names? The younger people.
Oh, the younger people.
The younger people who aren't actually younger.
That's Mark and Karen.
Thank you. So Mark and Karen owned the mechanic. So his lawnmower was getting serviced, repaired there.
Yeah.
And so he needed to borrow Barry's.
People, I'm just
I know, right?
What are they, in their 50s?
And then some. So he wanted to borrow Barry's lawnmower so he could tidy his lawn the next day.
Yeah. So he was going to come back to Barry in the morning and get the lawnmower off him. Yeah.
That's right. At about 10:30 that night, there was a huge dumping of rain, but it had cleared by the morning.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Paddy wasn't seen on the Sunday, nor was he seen on the Monday. Mm-hmm. Very unusual.
But on the Sunday, Barry had come to he'd come over to see Paddy because he hadn't arrived to get the lawnmower. So Barry arrived and no one locked their houses in this area. No. So he went to the door and no answer, but went in and noticed that, he noticed what was still in there was Paddy's hat. There was his wallet in its all normal spot. And he saw that there was food out for Kelly, but there was no sign of Paddy or Kelly.
Food out for, it looked like
he'd started to prepare dinner for himself as well.
Yeah.
So what was also there was in the microwave, which he probably wouldn't have seen this yet, but in the microwave was the chicken that he'd been given to give to Kelly as well. Mm-hmm. So that was the scene that he walked into on that morning, sort of going like, where's Paddy? You meant to come get my lawnmower and you haven't come. So he did think that was a bit very odd, and he did look around. He did go for a wander all around sort of the property and look around, but no sign of Paddy whatsoever.
I believe he also got in his car and drove down Old Dump Road.
The dump. I don't know if he did that on the Sunday or the Monday. But
I think that was on the Monday.
The Monday?
Yeah.
But, so he did, over the course of that time, look for Paddy. Because, I mean, something that needs to be considered in all of this, in this area, the heat and the weather is extreme.
Yeah.
So if you go off for a walk somewhere and he's had a bit of a medical episode or something, no one's going to hear you or anything, but also very quickly you become lost and disorientated.
Yeah.
With the heat as well as just the area itself being, everything looks the same. You can't even imagine like how disorientated you can get very quickly out in that area.
For sure.
Even living there, you would very much go off a path somewhere, in a disorientated state, and you're even more disorientated.
So the police were saying, this is going a little bit ahead, but they were saying that even just veering 20 meters off the path could potentially disorient you enough that you would then not be able to find your way back.
Absolutely.
Like 20 meters. You think, I can see 20 meters down the road, but no. This just goes to show how easy it is, how easy it would be to get lost.
That's it. So that's why you always stick to paths. You do not veer off paths when you're out in that kind of area.
Yep.
But the thought of him having a little bit of a somewhat medical episode and veering off that path, he could get lost very, very quickly. So, yeah, that's sort of what Barry was sort of kind of going, I better check for him on his regular where he
Yeah.
is, just to, because he could potentially see him 20, 50 metres away off
That's
of a
right.
path. But Paddy wouldn't be able to see back to see where the path is.
Correct.
To orientate himself.
Correct.
So that was where he was kind of going, I'll go out and look. But no sign of either Callie or Paddy. So, but it did take 3 days for Barry to then alert authorities that Paddy was missing. So I find that a little bit interesting.
I do too. I think there were reasons for that. I think he didn't want to panic and think something had happened.
I guess we
He
should
was
also say, though, in terms of alerting authorities, there was no one in town.
Oh, no.
There wasn't a police station
No.
or a police officer assigned to visit regularly even.
No.
So
Although
they did.
the police officer in Mataranka
Yes.
did. I mean, I think Larimer fell under his jurisdiction.
Yeah,
but that's 80
absolutely.
k's away.
But
Like,
that's-
you're
yeah.
not doing a patrol there every day.
They
are
don't come
you?
unless they're called.
That's right.
Kind of thing. So, and it's not like you kind of go, oh, look, I'm going to Mataranka this afternoon. Well, while I'm there, I'll pop into the police station and mention it. If you weren't going there, it was out of your way.
Yeah.
You know?
Considerably. Yeah.
So, and then no mobile phone service, no nothing. Like, yeah, I can understand a little bit of it being in that area. I would consider it to be, this is really highly unusual and there's something wrong here.
Oh, I just think when they first realised that he wasn't there and Kelly wasn't there, and they could, and then maybe, I don't know, maybe wait the day and see what happened.
Yep.
I can maybe
I can
understand
maybe come at that, but 3
But then,
days?
yeah, because he didn't report him missing until the Tuesday, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the Tuesday.
So on Monday evening is when Karen and Mark, who we discussed before, that's when Barry told them that he hadn't seen Patti, and they found out for the first time. Now, they were quite good friends with Patti, and they're like, oh, yeah, we haven't seen him, which is really sort of unusual.
If he wasn't sitting on that patio in that chair of the pub, you'd be like, where the fuck's Paddy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They then decided to have a look for themselves very early on Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
So they went to Paddy's property. What they found was that the rain gauge had not been emptied, and Paddy always emptied his rain gauge.
Yeah.
And it hadn't rained since that Saturday night.
Any downpour, after the downpour, he would empty his rain gauge.
Yeah.
It was one of his very strict routines.
Every day.
Yeah.
They found his sunglasses hanging from his quad bike, and the quad bike was under the carport next to his four-wheel drive.
Parked absolutely perfectly. As he would always do.
Yep.
Yep.
Now, he wouldn't, aside from the walk that he did in the morning with Kelly down Old Dump Road,
Yep.
he would never walk anywhere. He'd always take his quad bike.
Yeah.
And if he was leaving Larrimah to go to Mataranka or to go to Catherine or whatever, he would always tell someone. He would never go and
But
not
he would
let
also
anyone know.
take his four-wheel drive that
And
was
he would
parked
then
there as well.
Exactly. And then he would take his four-wheel drive.
Yeah.
So the fact that both of his modes of transport were at home, highly suspicious.
And parked how he would park them.
Yes.
Like,
Good
yep.
point. That's a really good point. Now, the back door was unlocked. If Paddy was leaving Larrimah for any time, he couldn't actually lock one of the doors. He'd actually put up a mat and a like a Besser block
Yeah.
to block the door from being
That would be more so for wildlife
Yeah,
to get in.
for
I'll say
sure,
that
for sure.
than anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
His kitchen fan was on.
Yep.
His usual cap and cowboy were in the house, which we've already spoken about.
Yeah.
His medication, which again he was incredibly diligent in
Yeah.
taking every single day, was still in the refrigerator.
Yep.
The food containers on the table looked like he was about to prepare a meal. Food in the dog bowl.
There's food in the dog bowl.
Yeah,
that
so
one gets
Kelly-
me a lot
same.
because what dog leaves that? Like,
Exactly.
yeah.
The dog bowl was on the floor, like
Yeah.
it was
Ready to
Kelly
go.
could have been eating it.
Yes.
There was a pedestal fan that was on, pointing to the made bed. Again, odd.
Getting ready for bedtime. Like, that's, preparing that
Getting
next part
yourself
of the night.
sorted. And
Yep.
then the other thing was the gate to his property was open, and he would close it every single night because he didn't want feral donkeys in his property.
Oh, don't get me started on the feral donkeys. I want to know what a feral donkey looks like and what they behave like because
Oh,
donkeys
Google
are
it.
so cute.
Oh no, a feral donkey is not cute, and apparently there were
Yeah.
thousands of them.
Yeah, like that was the biggest thing they had to worry about was
Yeah,
feral donkeys.
feral donkeys.
That cracked me up.
I
Feral
love
donkeys.
it. Yeah,
oh
me
my
too.
god.
I love it. Karen and Mark were really concerned that he might have had a medical episode or
Yes.
he'd gotten himself like really drunk that night and gone off walking or something.
Yeah.
They didn't really know. They searched for about 3 hours, and then they were like, well, we've looked everywhere that we would think that he could possibly be.
Yeah.
They even went to the dump to see if like he'd fallen in or something like that, but no, there was no sign of him at all.
Yeah.
So they went to the hotel and asked Barry to call the police.
Yeah.
This happened at 4:00 on Tuesday the 19th. The last time he was seen was like about 4:30, 5 o'clock on the Saturday. That's a long time.
It is. It really is. I think, particularly, out in that kind of area, that's the difference between finding a live person who needs medical attention, say, and a very much a dead person.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Police arrived on Wednesday afternoon and started searching. They found the barbecue chicken in the microwave, as you said. So that's really odd.
Yeah.
And anyway, a search team ended up being sent out from Darwin, which is 500 kilometres away. So like 5-6 hour drive.
I've got to love the head of the search, though, from Mataranka, the guy there. Oh, God, I just loved him.
Yeah.
He's an ex-principal, and I love the way he just goes,
he
wasn't kind of really cut out for it.
Yeah.
But he's such a principal so many ways. I could actually see him being a great teacher. I could be a brilliant teacher.
Yeah.
He just had a really great personality about him.
Agreed.
Of like that he would just, I don't know, reach kids.
Yeah.
but he's like kind of going, teaching wasn't really my thing, but I still do it a bit here and there.
Yeah, I love it.
But he headed up like the search and rescue, and like he was just really interesting how he felt like when they got to the town though to do this search, there was a real vibe of the local people, even though he was from Mataranka, let alone the people coming from Darwin. There was very much these outsiders coming in, and they didn't really want to open up to them and talk.
Ranks, didn't they?
And he said, you go to these search and rescue things, the people from the local town get involved and help look. They shut shop. Like
and
they literally
provide food. They really support the people who've come to help out.
They were like, oh, these strangers are here, and they shut down completely.
Yeah.
It was a really interesting take on that and the people that live in Larrimah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting way to behave.
Absolutely.
Given the circumstance.
Yeah.
The police, when they arrived from Darwin, the special search team that arrived, their initial thought was that Patti had been taking Kelly for a walk and had a medical episode.
Yeah.
And then became disoriented and lost. They used helicopters, motorbikes. There were apparently a couple of World War II bunkers in the area that they searched.
Because originally it was a fairly popular and very well used for the army during the war and things.
That's
so,
it.
Yeah.
Exactly. But no evidence of him or Kelly was found.
No.
So the next thing, I guess, given the weather conditions and the fact that so much time had passed, on the 23rd of December, I think it was, they decided to stop the search because they'd been looking and they hadn't found anything. And the likelihood at this stage was that he would be deceased.
Yes.
And that they'd be just looking for remains. Oh, there's no way he would have been able to survive out there without shelter, food, water for that amount of time.
Yeah.
So the police continued sort of doing some investigations because things didn't feel all that great when they were in Larrimah looking around. And on the 28th of December, they conducted an evidence search that lasted for a couple of days. So this is where they're starting to think maybe there was some criminal activity involved and we need to actually figure out what's happened. The reason for that was because of the way that Patty's house was found.
Yeah, but also the fact that I think it was actually Christmas Day on the 25th of December, they'd conducted interviews of all 11 or 12 residents of Laramie as well.
Yeah.
So from those interviews, that led to them, and also the fact of what evidence they did have of when Patti last was in his house.
Yep.
They've decided we need further investigation here.
But nothing really came of that. They did look in. Well, not really. Nothing of note really came of it. I mean, obviously, we will get to some, but the feuds and stuff came out. But in terms of evidence of what happened to Patti, there wasn't any.
No.
So they actually then came back in May of 2018 to do another evidence search just based on some of the interviews and other things that had come to the fore, which we'll get to in one sec.
Yeah.
But now at that point, they were really starting to think that foul play was involved just based on all of the evidence that they'd gotten to at that point.
Yeah.
Detective Sergeant Matt Allen headed this investigation, and he's in the documentary. Oh, fuck. So I just think he's a cop through and through.
But he's a cop, but he's also a small town cop.
Yeah,
Just crack me up.
I just love it.
The laid back attitude and the
totally.
but then even when you get the Darwin cops that come into it, who are sort of from the big smoke kind of stuff, they're still even a little bit like, I don't know,
laid back,
green.
Yeah,
almost
but laid back.
Yeah, very laid back.
Nothing's a hurry.
And I love the way that there was times where like they obviously had questions from like producers in the documentary where they kind of went, how am I going to answer that? Like, whereas a Melbourne seasoned cop would be like,
exactly.
bang, bang, bang.
You're talking about that girl, and she's like, they ask her a question, and she goes, and she's like, there's silence for a good 30
minutes,
seconds,
I reckon,
and then she's like, we're just trying to figure out how to answer that.
Yeah.
And then we don't get an answer. No. Anyway, let's go through the cast of characters of Larrimah. So we obviously already know about Patti.
Yeah.
Fran first?
Let's do Fran.
Okay. So Fran is the local shop owner or cafe owner.
Cafe? Sorry.
Well,
yeah, I guess so.
She calls it Fran's Cafe, doesn't she?
Oh, yes.
It's just called Fran's Tea House. Sorry, you're
because she does do a Devonshire tea as well as...
Yep. Imagine the curdling cream in that heat. God. I don't know why, but I just have a real vibe. And sorry, Fran. I just have a real vibe of like unfresh. Do you know what I mean? Like,
oh, totally.
You know what I would eat from there?
Nothing.
A deep fried parma.
No. Can you imagine how many times that same oil has been used?
Oh, yeah, actually. Yuck. Okay, I would open a Forex, but would I? No, probably not
wipe
either.
It down first.
Oh, yeah, wipe down the... Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
awful. Awful.
She is a central figure in this whole saga because she and Patti had a blood feud. Like, honestly, they were...
To the point of it's what I reckon broke up her marriage.
Yeah.
Like, so in the same town is her ex-husband, Billy.
Oh, Billy, you just oh my
beautiful.
God. But you could break him with your...
but he was very sick.
Very unwell.
He had cancer.
Yeah.
Yes.
So many of them had cancer in that town.
I know.
Yeah. And all different kinds of cancer.
Different kinds. I was like, but there's got to be something in that. I don't know. Anyway, another day. But yeah, so her ex-husband lived in the town, Billy, and for their marriage, they'd been together for a long time.
50 years when they got divorced. Yep.
So they were living at where Fran's tea house was and on the same property, all that sort of stuff, and with Patti across the road. And when this feud started with Patti, Billy kind of didn't do anything to defend Fran. Yep. Like a typical, I think, in some ways, Australian bloke. And I say the word bloke very,
pointedly. Yeah.
Particular men, not all men. A typical Aussie bloke.
Old school outback.
Real old school that just don't let stuff bother you.
Yeah, that's right. Just let it roll.
No, even though he's been a total prick, he just was like, that's just Patti.
But he was friends with Patti too. And Billy seems like a very nice man. Like,
yes.
Very easygoing, unflappable.
Don't let things
just
get to
let
you,
things roll over you. Yeah.
So because he didn't defend Fran, she packed all his stuff up and shipped him out and pissed him off. Which I love how then he lives down the road and so he could see her just to annoy her.
Yeah. It's like I wasn't going to move away.
No, why would you do that when I can annoy her by sitting here looking at her every day?
Yeah, literally.
It's
funny.
God. Still in love with her. What?
Oh, yeah. Fran owned that tea house for 35 years.
Yeah.
And she actually met Patti when he lived in Daly Waters. They would go down there. There's a pub there. So that was another place.
No way.
members of the communities around would go to the watering hole.
Yes.
So they met about 30 years before. So Patti and Fran and Billy met about 30 years before Patti disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
They were on good terms with Patti when he first bought the top of the town disused service station to live in. They were quite friendly.
Yeah.
But things soon deteriorated and Patti wasn't allowed to go to Fran's tea house anymore.
I love when he said he put up signs saying that, the best pubs, but the best pies are at the pub.
Yeah.
Like, and she's like, how would he know? I would never let him eat one of mine.
It's probably like lucky Patti for not having to, enjoy her pies.
Oh.
And then so what he wrote was best $6 pies in town at the Larimer pub, and put the sign in his property,
Yeah.
which was road facing.
Right opposite.
Right opposite. So people would come in and be like, oh, maybe I'll go to the pub for a pie. And that really pissed Fran off.
Oh, well.
That
I
was the
can
start of it
understand
all.
why that would. I mean,
Well,
it's her
yeah.
business. It's her livelihood. Because she genuinely, out of this town, I guess, and the pub in this same vein, like, that's the only way they can make money.
Yeah.
Like, what else are they going to do to make money?
Well, the mechanic.
But even then, how
they
many
earn
times does a car break down in the area?
Yeah, I think they got people from other towns as well. Like they were
Okay.
the mechanic of the area. It's not like they were just being the
The
mechanic
area?
for the
What,
12
you mean 76k away?
Yeah,
You're towing a
literally-
car from
yeah,
Mataranka?
literally. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus.
And like farming machinery and
Yeah, I
that kind of thing.
guess.
Because the other thing is they would have a transient population of like, road workers and that kind of stuff come through, and
Yeah.
they would help, service those kinds of vehicles
Yeah.
as well. So that there was some money to be made. And I can't imagine it wouldn't have been
Wouldn't have been-
expensive to live in Laramie
Oh, well, this is it. $30,000 to buy
to buy in.
a fairly decent sized land kind of property.
Yeah. And then what would your expenses be? Food.
That's it.
That's it. There's nothing else to do
Beer.
there.
Beer.
Beer. Food. That's it.
Electricity bill? Water bill?
Yeah, I guess.
Don't know.
they'd
Oh,
have
no, you
that.
probably water would be on tank. You'd be
Yeah,
on tank
it'd be
water.
tank water.
Yeah, that'd be it.
Yeah,
Sewerage
electricity.
maybe bill? Like, I don't know.
I
I don't know.
I don't actually know. But no, they would have had septic tanks.
Yeah.
So no,
No.
they wouldn't be sewage.
Wow.
Anyway,
Yeah, okay.
so he also, the other thing around this time that Paddy did that really pissed Fran off was he kind of roped off his property so that her customers couldn't like park. Near the tea house.
Which it wasn't his land even. There was next to his property, like it was turned out it was Crown land.
Right.
So he was roping it off so they couldn't park on public property basically. So there was no issue with them parking there, but Paddy just to piss
decided
her
to
off.
rope it off. But in doing so, what that meant was people were then drawn down the road to the pub,
pub where there was
because
parking.
where you could park.
Yeah.
You couldn't park up near Fran's
No.
otherwise. Oh, fucking hell. So she
Total
thought-
shit stirrer.
Oh, total shit. Oh, he was. He
Yeah.
was he was described in some of the documentary and a few other things that I watched as well as like a bit of an Aussie larrikin. But he was a fucking pain in the ass.
No, larrikin small doses, like passing through the town. Great, love.
What a top bloke.
You've got to pop in there because you'll see this bloke there that tells a good yarn.
Totally.
But then you get to move on and never see him again.
Yeah.
You live there
Imagine-
with him day after day after day.
ain't-
That's now not a larrikin.
That's a pain
now
in the
pain in the ass.
Yeah, totally. So by this time, Paddy and Billy, Fran and Billy had separated.
Yeah.
And Fran thought that Paddy and Billy had teamed up, and look, there actually was some evidence of this. Teamed up to just really get under her skin. So
Yeah.
she accused them of things like cutting. This is so funny. She had CCTV cameras all around her property in the tea house. She accused them of cutting the wires, and Paddy admitted to it at one point.
Yeah.
So did Billy, I think.
Yes.
And she also accused them of poisoning the plants. She had quite a nice garden.
Yeah. What you can get out that
What
way.
you
Jesus,
can.
the heat.
Yeah, that's
would
it's in the remote desert. But she actually did have quite a nice little
she
little
did.
garden area.
But 2 days before Paddy went missing, this is awful.
This is actually
This is
awful.
actually awful,
Yeah.
awful. But he, what he did, and he did do it. He dragged a dead kangaroo and threw it into her bedroom. I think it was in her house.
Oh, I thought it was just beside, like onto her property.
No,
Was it
inside.
into her
it was.
yuck.
He threw it indoors because no one locks the doors. Like,
Oh, that's
he threw
gross.
it indoors. Yeah, which that's just so gross. Roadkill kind of stuff that he just like threw into a house.
They know he definitely did that
yeah.
because she had CCTV.
Yeah, because she
footage of
put
it.
up cameras.
Yeah.
Because once this sort of stuff started happening, she did put up cameras, and obviously they've cut the wires of those and all those sorts of things. But because she did on a number of occasions call the police in Mataranka.
Yeah.
And so the Mataranka police were very aware of this feud between them because she would call them fairly consistently.
She, in between 2010 and 2017 when he went missing, she made 9 formal complaints against Paddy to the police.
Yeah.
Right? The first one, Fran believed that Patti stole her $200 red umbrella from her front yard, which is one of those like stick umbrellas.
Which is at the pub.
Yep.
But you can see it in footage.
Yep. Put it on a table out the front of the pub.
Yeah.
Rubbing it in her face.
Yeah.
So the second complaint was that some books and memorabilia had been stolen from her tea house. Now, I don't know how... that place was quite cluttered. The tea house was quite cluttered.
Yep.
But
She
she
would've known.
suspected that Patti took them. He said that tourists must have taken them.
I bet he did.
Eventually, she conceded, though, to that one. She dropped the complaint on that one because she eventually conceded. So I'm like, did she then go back and look at CCTV? I don't know. Or found them?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
Then so the third complaint was that she wanted something done because Paddy would stand out the front of the tea house, and when tourists came into Larrimah, he would say to them, "Don't eat here. This is shit. Don't eat here. Go down to the pub. Go, keep going, keep going." And so she said that interrupted her livelihood. Oh, that's right. He'd be like, "Don't eat the food here. It's crap." But she'd also say, "It's not safe to park your vehicles here. You never know what's going to happen. Go and park
Feral
down near the pub."
donkeys.
Apparently, if people did park anywhere, people who were going to Fran's tea house did park anywhere near him. This was, I think, before he'd started to cordon off the property that wasn't even his.
Yeah.
He'd tell them, "Move your fucking car," and like people would get a bit scared and move it or leave or whatever, and Fran would miss out on business that way. Then the fifth one was that Fran told police that she believed Patti had broken a plastic fitting on her hose that connected it to her water pump, and it actually meant that most of her water tank was drained. Now, that's a big deal, I suppose.
Yeah,
but you know what, the police...
could the heat have just done that, though?
Well, the police actually came out to investigate this particular one because there was possibly physical evidence.
Yep.
They found that the O-ring had just perished.
That would happen so easily and quite often out that way. You'd have to replace them very regularly. I mean, you're talking on the daily 40-degree temperatures average, probably.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot of sun, a lot of heat on that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And rubber perishes in those conditions.
You'd want metal ones rather than plastic.
The thing that blows my mind is that the first thing she did was call the police about that.
Yes.
Not even go and have a look and go, "Oh, maybe
there's
there
some
is
other
something
reason
else
to
going
this."
on.
Yeah.
So I think that would have pissed the police off as well. The fact that they've had to come out here and investigate a perished O-ring. That's annoying.
Yes.
The next one was that Fran told the police that Paddy was in her yard with his dog at 9:45 p.m. in the evening and that he'd been turning her open sign to closed. So she'd flip it to open, he'd come, flip it to closed, flip it to open, flip it to closed.
Yeah.
The police actually did serve Paddy with a trespassing notice at this time because he'd already been told he wasn't allowed on her property.
Yeah.
The next complaint was that Fran told the police that Paddy was stalking her. Now, how the fuck? In a town of 12 people, you wouldn't be able to avoid someone necessarily.
So, how do you prove stalking?
Well,
not saying he wasn't, but like...
Yeah, oh, he was.
If he walked out of his house, he was stalking her, like, you know.
But he was actually sitting on his front porch with binoculars looking at her. So this one didn't go to court. The police told her it's a civil matter. You need to kind of sort it out for yourself.
Yeah.
So off the back of that, Fran then made a personal violence restraining order, tried to get one against Paddy.
Yeah.
They took that to court.
Yes.
And it was no go.
Thrown out. Right.
So Fran then had to pay the court costs for
God.
both of them.
Look, it sounds like he's been a dick and he's been, as we said, like
but Fran's also being incredibly sensitive to all of this as well.
That's the thing. He knows he's getting at
Yes,
her.
absolutely.
So this is where Grey Rock is a real thing. Grey Rock that shit. Like, don't let that get to you. And he wouldn't have done it to her so much. The fact that she would go to the police or all those things is exactly why he kept doing it.
100%.
I mean, it's so hard in the moment. I mean, boredom. What else is he doing out there? I'll irritate Fran. I've something to do every day. Which is not excusing it. It's shit behaviour entirely. I'm not saying that it's, just ignore it. Like, that's a crap response. I totally get that. But, if she hadn't reacted, I don't think he would have kept going
I
at it.
agree. I fully agree.
Yeah.
The last complaint that Fran made to the police prior to Paddy's disappearance was that she rang them and said that Paddy and Billy had tipped cooking oil all over her plants, and because it's so hot, that all of her plants perish.
Yes.
The police could not establish that either of those two men were involved in that, so that just kind of got left by the by.
However, on the night of Paddy's disappearance, there was a whole new lot of plants and a new watering system put in that night.
Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
The timing of
The
that
timing
is
of that is very interesting, yeah.
So we're sort of now in September of 2017. So this is a few months before Paddy went missing. And Fran was looking for somebody like a groundskeeper, essentially, somebody to come and tend to her garden. And in payment for that, she would provide them a room and board, food and accommodation in exchange for the work around her property.
She also did put into her ad a little bit of the fact that this person could act as a bit of a protector from a bit of a security guard for the property too.
Yeah.
Because obviously it wasn't working, that she was making complaints to the police and that being told things like it's a civil matter, you sort it out. I think she was really looking for someone else to be on the property to keep an eye on things, as well as herself watching things going on.
Yeah.
So interesting that who she then got.
Yeah, so she put, well, that's right. She put an ad in the Catherine Times newspaper. I think she ended up having to put in 3 ads before anyone even responded.
Well, I mean, the whole part of this was to come and move to Larimer.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not everyone in the world who's hanging to get there.
No, but there's a certain type of person who will probably take that on.
This is it.
And the person who ended up taking that position on was a man by the name of Owen Laurie. Mm-hmm. He started there on the 4th of September in 2017. That's when he moved to Larrimah.
Yeah.
We'll get to him, Larimah. We'll get to him a little bit later.
Yeah, let's come back to him.
Okay, I need to just make a note of something that I just saw then in my notes that I need to bring up later. All right, who do we want to do next?
What about Barry, the publican?
Yep, that's a good idea.
Yep.
Barry Sharp.
Yes.
Okay.
He's an interesting character. There's a whole lot with him that I just find really interesting.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
There's something that I just can't put my finger on but unsettles me about him.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he was the owner and publican of the Larimer Hotel.
And the zoo.
I think it all came part and parcel.
Yeah.
Because, he had a long-standing rivalry with Patti. They did not see eye to eye.
Oh, no, Barry and Patti were best mates.
I thought they weren't.
No, this is where, they were supposedly best mates. Supposedly.
Okay.
Very, very tight.
I know that. Are you thinking of Richard or are you thinking of Barry? So Richard was the bartender
and Barry's the publican who owned the place.
Yeah, so did Patti have a good relationship with him?
They were besties.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway.
Richard's a little more, I'll see it from everyone's perspective.
Yeah.
And a bit more fence sitter, but made of Paddy's.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of the way I see it was there was Fran and pretty much her on her own.
Fran.
And then there was the people from the pub.
Yeah.
Right? But so then with Fran were 2 other people on her sort of side, although again, probably a little bit of more arguments there as well, was the couple that Carl and Bobby. Mm-hmm. So there was kind of those 3 on the out, and then there was everyone else and the pub people. So Mark and Karen, Barry, they were and Richard were all kind of in together.
Yeah, okay.
As the pub people.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Barry had owned the pub for about 14 years, but he'd lived in Larimer for about 27 years at this point. And he would chat every day with Patti at the pub. I just didn't think they got along that well. Anyway,
I think there was definitely underlying shit with all of them. There was every one of them, even though so Fran, Bobby, and oh my god, Carl.
Yep.
Even though they were sort of on the same page when it came to Patti, they still had their own animosities between them as well.
Sure.
So I think similar with Barry.
Yeah. Okay.
Barry and Patti were best mates, but he had his issues.
Some shit. Yeah. Okay. But I know that Patti would still chat with Barry.
Oh yeah.
And disclose things to him.
Yes.
Especially not long before his disappearance.
Yeah.
Had spoken about feuds or arguments with Fran's new caretaker or groundskeeper or whatever you want to call him, Owen.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, he would tell him everything. Like,
right,
yeah.
okay. Well, that really does check out then, doesn't it?
yeah, because there was also like, so Barry again had his own enemies in the town because as much as he was the publican, and you sort of think of that person, particularly in a town like that, he'd be like the center of the world,
The head
and
of
he
the
is.
town, sort of.
Well,
yeah.
owning the pub is like the biggest thing that they have going. But the thing is, he didn't own the pub originally when he moved there, as we said. The person who owned the pub prior was actually Carl and Bobby's daughter. And he pretty much pushed her out to take over.
Yeah.
So there was then this animosity between them of what went on there, because there's a whole story with how when he got her out of the pub, she took over like the resort, like over the road, which she ran and did up as nicely as you can in that area and did some things with that.
Yeah.
And so this is when the town was a little bit more booming, sort of early in the more sort of in the 90s.
Yes.
And weirdly enough, that burned to the ground. And something that was said was that Paddy was quite a bit of the pyromaniac.
Absolutely.
He enjoyed lighting a fire just for the fun of it.
Yep. He was known to start fires. Now, if you think about lighting a fire in the outback, that is dangerous.
Oh, yeah. So Carl and Bobby, they were the local fire responders, kind
or
of
like
stuff
emergency responders.
Emergency responders.
Yeah.
They were trained fireys. They were trained a little bit in first aid, all those sorts of things. So if there was an issue with anything, they were the ones who were like immediate first responders. So weirdly enough, when that fire was lit, of their daughter's property, they were off in Catherine with the fire truck, with the keys to the fire truck.
That's right. So the fire truck was locked up. Like apparently they'd put a chain through it. Just I'm guessing as an extra level of security or whatever.
Yeah, but they had the keys to it in Catherine, and the place is burned to the ground while they're away. Weirdly, how it was lit at that point, and then the police have adamantly said it was arson, but they just can't prove who and how it went about it. But it was definitely arson that caused the fire.
So what Barry says is that
the daughter
did it because she wanted to claim insurance. But she actually says in the documentary, she's like, I went bankrupt over this.
Yeah.
This
killed her.
ruined me.
Yeah.
And she had to leave Larrimah and re-establish herself.
Yeah.
And move away from her mum and dad.
Yeah.
Her sister had already moved out of Larrimah well before this happened. But it's just like...
That doesn't make sense. She would have done it herself if she didn't, make $1 million off of it burning to the ground.
That's right.
Yeah.
She didn't.
Yeah.
She bankrupted it. Like it bankrupted her.
Yeah.
And watching her in the documentary, I find her believable.
Yeah,
I find
totally.
her very
It was
credible.
heartbreaking watching that.
I thought so.
Yeah. I mean, out of all these people, I found like Carl and Bobby being like probably the most normal.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah?
Agreed.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So, really interesting that, Barry, but they sort of reckon that, Barry had something to do with it, as much as I'm saying Paddy liked lighting fires. Between the two of them, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe they conspired over a beer, perhaps?
Maybe.
Or several.
Yeah.
I think it was a good idea at the time. Bobby and Carl had lived in Laramie since 1998. They lived there with their 2 daughters. As we were saying, one of them left and the other one ended up, taking on the publican role, and then the motel.
The motel resort. There was a pool.
There was a pool.
There was a pool.
Yeah, so that's cool.
That's funny because I have to say in the documentary they show like photos of it and like sort of like advertising for it. I love it how it's like I think it's Karen in the photos.
It
You're
is.
like, is there anyone else in this town? Like, there's not anyone.
Literally no one. You've got to be everything in the town
Exactly.
like
I
that.
just
Model.
love it. Yeah. She did well. I'm not no shade in that,
For
that fact. But
sure.
I'm just like, oh my god, I know who it is. It's in the photo.
Yeah, exactly.
I love
it's
it.
so funny.
Yeah.
So Diane was actually the one who sold Patti the top of the town servo. So she owned that for a while too.
Yes.
So it's all like everybody's intertwined and interlinked.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So next with Karen and Mark Rayner.
Yes. Yep.
So they were the newest and youngest residents at the time of the documentary anyway.
Yeah.
And Karen was the bookkeeper for the Larimer workshop, which she and her husband owned.
Yeah.
Now, this is the workshop that serviced, they were mechanics. They serviced all of the mechanical things in Larimer. And then, as we were describing before, of towns surrounding it as well.
Yeah.
So part of her role, part of Karen's role as well, was looking after the animals at the zoo.
I love how they just pitch in with everything. You know, like, I love that.
You'd have to,
Yeah.
wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You'd absolutely have to. They bought they moved in there in 2015, and they bought the mechanic business, which is what drew them to Larrimah, and a house at the same time. And again, dilapidated, rundown. It's just, I think they paid next to nothing for that as well.
Oh, yeah.
They actually stopped going to the Larrimah Hotel whenever Richard the barman was there because they did have a dispute with him, but they were still friendly with Patti. So they would actually sit sort of outside of the pub chatting with Barry, but wouldn't go anywhere near Richard in the pub. Like, it's, you know, it'd be hard.
love it.
You can't avoid people.
Oh, this is it. You can't. No. And I mean, there's only so many people to talk to, too.
That's it.
Jesus.
That's it. You wouldn't want to alienate people because that reduces an already very small pool to even being even smaller.
Yeah. But I mean, these two really they seem to really like Patti. Like, they'll say, like, you know, oh, yeah, you know, he larrikin. But then you also hear an undertone of like, oh, yeah, I can get why people didn't like him.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's really interesting. They all had their issues.
I feel like in the documentary, Karen and Mark really held back. I didn't feel like we were getting the full story from them at all.
I feel like they wanted to like portray a certain, like, you know, yes, we're not that they were trying to hide necessarily that done something. Like, I actually think out of all of them, I think that no, I don't think they killed him.
Same.
But like at the same time, they weren't like we don't want to speak freely. Like they were kind of like trying to hold ranks a little bit of like, you know, I'm just going to keep that information to myself, I think.
Yeah, and the producers asked them a couple of questions and they're like, oh, we've had thoughts, but we're going to keep them as just thoughts. We're not going to say them.
Oh, you might get another beer. You know,
yeah, yeah. Exactly. Like deflect.
Yeah.
Next we got Billy Hodges.
Yeah, that's Fran's.
So, yeah, Fran's ex-husband. His nickname was Light Cans because he'd drink light beer. I love it. So after their divorce, as you said, he lived in a caravan at the back of the Larrimah Hotel.
So he could see Fran's property, well, his old property, like that she wouldn't let him anywhere near.
Yeah. He'd been in Larrimah since 1983.
Amazing.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Next we got Cookie. Barry Cook.
Yes.
Barry Burke, sorry. Oh, God. Barry
If
Burke.
you think his name was Cook.
So he was he the oldest resident at the time?
He was at the time, yeah.
And he was known as being quite the gossip of the town, knew everything about everyone. I'm sure all of them knew everything about everyone.
Oh, absolutely.
He lived alone, but he had a partner and she lived in Tasmania.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that odd?
I know. Maybe that's the way you get it to last.
Live literally thousands of kilometres away from one another.
You almost couldn't live far apart.
Yeah, almost.
Within Australia.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, wow. Jesus.
He said he first met Patti at the Daily Waters pub about 4 or 5 years before Patti's disappearance. They had a fight. So Cookie and Patti had a fight because Patti accused Cookie of stealing a Mars bar from the hotel because on the counter of the hotel they've got like snacks and like stuff like that. You know, it's like a little bit of a general store as well. It was an everything.
Oh, it was the post office.
Yeah, post office was as it would have to be in a place like that.
Absolutely.
So yeah, he accused. Patti accused Cookie of stealing a Mars bar. Like it was any of Patti's fucking business.
Yeah. But he would make it that. Would so make it that his business. Yeah.
So Cookie from that point on, over a Mars bar, Cookie would only ever then go to the hotel to pick up his mail. And when he knew Patti wouldn't be there early in the morning, wouldn't go back.
Why would you live somewhere where you literally couldn't go to the one place that you would go in that town?
It's so isolating. Yeah. What did he do all day, every day?
Oh, this is it. God.
So when Barry was asked, you know, if he had any involvement in Patti's disappearance, he said, yeah, he's a bit of a shit stirrer, but I wouldn't have thought it was enough for anyone to actually knock him off.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
Yeah.
His theory of what happened to Patti was that he might have gone to visit friends or just gone for a walk with his dog and fallen into a sinkhole. A
sinkhole. Yeah, I love that thought. Like out there might be sinkholes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
He had nothing further to add, Your Honour.
Yeah, you're right.
We've then got Richard Simpson, who we spoke about just before. He was the bartender at Barry's pub.
Yeah.
He said he never had a crossword with Patti, but then other people in the town say that they did.
Yeah.
Although, look, he said in his sort of story, he did say that they'd sit and have a beer most afternoons, and I think if
he's
there were
the sort of bloke where like he would speak his mind, but then wouldn't think of anything of it afterwards.
Yeah, I actually found him so incredibly intelligent.
Same. He like was interesting. I really found him an interesting person.
I thought so too.
Yeah.
He had since moved out of Laramie.
Yeah.
And he was then working as a shearer.
A shearer in WA.
In WA. So he'd already moved away by the time the documentary
he was
being
quite
filmed.
a transient person in that way. I think he was someone who went where the work was and like just, almost more for the story to live somewhere, sort of stuff.
I think he was quite a loner and enjoyed his own company.
Yeah.
Lived that kind of a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Then we've got Lenny Hodson.
Mm-hmm.
So he was the oldest or the longest resident of Larrimah.
Yeah.
Said he was good mates with Patti. They'd have arguments, but then they'd make up over a beer. So there was nothing really to say there.
No.
Now we have Owen.
Yeah, there was David too, which you don't really hear anything of him, but everyone forgets about him.
Yeah, poor old David.
David. He must live a real quiet life.
All I've written against David in my notes is resident.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. I've written another resident.
So, David was there. We don't know what he thought or whether, I don't think there was any suspicion that he was involved in anything.
He seemed to be someone who's very much on his own.
And kept to himself.
Yes.
Yep.
But then Owen.
All right, let's get into Owen.
Yeah.
Owen Laurie. So he was Fran Hodgett's live-in gardener and caretaker. So he lived in a separate little bungalow on her property.
Yeah.
He came to Larrimah to meet Fran when she put in the ad in the Catherine Times or whatever it was. He says, so when he came to meet Fran, he actually came with all his belongings because he intended
I'll meet her and it'll be fine. I was going to say,
and he'd driven from Catherine or beyond Catherine, I think. So it was a decent drive down to Larrimah for him.
Yeah.
When he met Fran, immediately she started talking about her feud with Patti.
Yeah.
And he said that if he had known about that before he came down to Larrimah, he wouldn't have come. That's an interesting statement, isn't it?
It is.
I think that's incredibly telling.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he ended up just staying because he'd already come sort of prepared to take on this job anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just having thoughts.
Yeah, I think I know where your thoughts are going.
Yeah.
Maybe. But he was such a loner. So Fran had already poisoned him against Patti.
Yeah.
And
as I say, I think 80% of her reason for getting someone in was more the protection of the property against Patti than the gardening that he did.
Yeah, like potter around and tend to the plants.
I think her motivation of having someone else on that property was not gardening necessarily. I mean, as much as need that done.
Yeah, and he'd fix little bits and pieces and
handyman to have around kind of stuff. But majority of like her reasoning, I think, was to have a security guard on the property.
Yeah.
I really do feel that.
I find it interesting though that Owen didn't meet most of the people.
No, like
in
everyone's
Laramie.
like never spoke to him.
Some people were like, I've never even seen him.
Never seen him. Never spoken to him.
Does that surprise you?
In a town that small?
How?
I know that, and to me that says a lot about who Owen was, and especially when like when you hear that there was a watering system and garden done during the night. I find that fascinating, which I get. Okay, heat can be an issue, and so you might want to wait till night to maybe do something because of the heat, maybe, or is it because you just don't want to see anyone? I think there's a bit of both.
I think for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, he only associated with Fran, which I mean,
kill me.
I know, right?
I mean, don't.
Yeah, don't. He claims that he only ever spoke with Patti once in that 3 months that he lived there before Patti went missing, and that was on the 13th of December, so 3 days before Patti went missing.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I don't know about that either because other people say that they had more interactions than that.
Patti would go to the pub and complain about it to everyone of like, certain things. So
Barry said that they'd had multiple run-ins and multiple altercations, as in Paddy and Owen,
Yeah.
that were then relayed to Barry by Paddy.
Yes. Yes.
All right. So,
Yeah. So before Owen came to Larrimah,
yeah.
there's not a whole lot known about him. However, the little bit that we do know is that he was a tent boxer.
Oh, what's that?
So it's basically it's not a formal boxing kind of like where there's, you know, set up locations and, you know, that you're going to fight this person on this date and, you know, sell tickets and what have you. So it's less formal. It's actually more like casual kind of boxing.
Is it like one of those things where people just rock up and be like, yeah, I'm going to fucking go, yeah.
You know, oh yeah, I'll put my hand up and I'll fight him, like kind of stuff.
And I assume people bet on it?
Yeah, I would assume so, but again, not probably legally. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
I wasn't by any stretch of the imagination assuming that.
So yeah, he basically worked in, you know, some fairly heavy labour kind of jobs, you know, like probably moving around a lot, doing, I don't know, shearing and all those sorts of things on cattle stations, that sort of stuff. So he was a very, very fit man, like in that he was very strong, could do all these jobs that Fran needed doing, but yeah, had a background in tent boxing and apparently did pretty good at it.
Okay.
So I think that's just an interesting little fact.
Did he earn money from doing that? Like, would he get prize money?
Probably
Was
would
that,
get paid, I guess, but again, under the, you know, it's all real.
not legally.
No.
So when the police were looking to investigate now Paddy's disappearance, so when they sort of moved from thinking that maybe there'd been a medical episode to then having, you know, suspicions that something else might have taken place here.
Yeah.
They started really looking into his background and where he sat. And one of the things that police often do in investigations like this is check finances and see whether there's anything like, did Paddy potentially take his own life?
Yeah.
Like, was this something that he had intended to do?
Yeah.
So what they discovered is that Paddy actually owed the Roper Gulf Regional Council just over $5,000 in rates because he'd never paid rates since he moved in. So it got to the point where he'd had notice after notice after notice.
Yeah.
And he got a final notice to say that if he didn't pay it by, I think it was by the end of December, pay all the back rates, that they would seize his property and sell it.
Right.
So he decided he didn't want that. Mm-hmm. So he, on the 4th of December, he left Larrimah, went to Catherine, got a bank check for the exact amount that he owed the council.
Yeah.
The Larrimah, the dues were paid. So what he owed was paid.
Right.
And what the police found was that he had about $8,000 left in his bank account. Okay. He had no other income stream at this point aside from the pension.
Yeah.
Which was probably enough, honestly, to...
Well, in the lifestyle he's living, he's probably paid outright for his property that he's living in.
Yeah, he didn't owe any money on that.
No, so he probably was, you know, managing to get by day to day.
Yeah, I mean, he's spending $40 a day, $15,000 a year on beer.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, I think in the grand scheme of things, his expenses were quite low.
Yeah, the little bit of food that he would eat, all that sort of stuff. I mean, yeah, he was probably, you know, managing okay.
Yeah. So in the... I guess, while the police were investigating this, they found that there was a dispute in the days leading up to Paddy's disappearance between Paddy, Fran and Owen, right?
Yeah.
Fran said that two visitors who'd been staying with her left on the morning of Tuesday, the 12th of December in 2017. On that same morning, Owen went to Catherine. After they all left... She looked out of her bedroom window, and this is when she saw the kangaroo thing happening, right?
Yeah.
Which you spoke about earlier.
Yeah.
She said that she saw Paddy standing in the middle of the highway with his dog. He smiled and looked at her, and next minute, she's got a kangaroo, obviously, inside her house. This happened at 7 o'clock in the morning, right? So he's up there taunting her. Being a fucking asshole, really.
Totally. Yeah.
Owen came back that day at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon from Catherine. And then the next day, Fran was traveling to Darwin for a couple of days. Oh, I find this so funny. So she talks about going to get her hair done, and the police ring her wanting to interview her.
Yep.
And she's
They
like,
pulled her over, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. They pulled her over.
Yeah.
That's right. And she's like, well, I've got a hair appointment at 9:30. I've got to go and get to that. And so the police officer was like, oh, I better check with my supervisor if that's okay. And they're like, yeah, all right, Fran, go and get your hair done.
Very important.
Then come and be interviewed.
Yeah.
So she had, as she was leaving, so Owen was coming back, she was leaving.
Yeah.
She told Owen about what had happened with the kangaroo, and she says that Owen said to her, I know, I could smell it from down the road, like the smell of a rotting. It would be so disgusting.
Yeah.
So the way that Owen tells the story is interesting. So what happened next was, so you know how Owen said that he'd only had one interaction with Patti? That interaction pertained to an incident with Kelly the dog.
Yes.
So what happened was that Patty's dog, Kelly, crossed the highway, the Stewart Highway.
Yeah.
It wasn't on Fran's property at all because Fran's and Patty's were on the other side of the highway, on the same side of the highway, but Kelly had crossed the highway, right?
Yeah.
And was barking. She'd found something, she was barking and making a huge amount of ruckus and whatever.
Yeah.
And that pissed Owen off.
Yeah.
He didn't like that.
No.
So he said to Patti, keep your fucking dog at home. Patti then responded, shut up. And Owen said, come over here. Come over here and say that to me. Say that to my face.
Yeah. I think he threatened to kill the dog at that point too.
He threatened to kill the dog.
Yes.
He basically said, he said something along the lines of shut that fucking dog up or I'll shut it for you.
Or I'll shut it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it was something along those lines. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Patti retorted with, mind your own fucking business, you old man. My dog can bark when it wants. It's none of your business. Shut your mouth or I'll take your knees out from under you.
Okay.
Apparently Richard overheard this interaction and he told Patti to be careful.
Yeah.
And
they didn't, as much as they never interacted with Owen, the general consensus around the town was they didn't like him. Which I don't think they liked.
Stay away from him.
Yeah, they didn't like outsiders, as we were saying before too.
They didn't
trust him, but they also knew that he was someone who had strength. Like he didn't look like someone that would be very nice.
Yeah.
They really all were they were wary.
Yeah.
But those who had seen him but none of them ever spoke to him. But even from not speaking to him, they were like, no, stay away from him.
Richard says that. Richard says Richard had never had a conversation, I think, with Owen at all.
No.
But in noticing this interaction between Owen and Patti and finding out what it was.
Yeah.
And saying, I'd be careful if I were you. Not even having had Richard, not even having had a conversation yet with Patti. No. Interesting.
But I'll put some photos up on the socials of him.
Yeah.
And as I say, this boxer kind of background of him, you can see it.
Tall too,
he's very tall, quite muscly.
5'4".
Exactly. He would have been very much over the top of Patti. So he's quite very well built. He did a lot of he's in the timber industry as well. Like he's well built. So yeah, I can imagine him being intimidating to someone without having to speak to him or anything. Because sometimes you see someone like that and you speak to them and go, "Oh, geez, you don't look like how you really are."
Yeah.
But people were wary of him just how he looked.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Patti said to Richard at the time, "Oh, don't worry, I've got a baseball bat." And Richard did tell the police that, and the police actually found the baseball bat in Patti's house, so they know it hadn't been taken out. There was no evidence to suggest that it had been used to hit anyone or anything like that. So Fran, we spoke about Fran getting intercepted and coming for an interview.
Yeah.
So her first record of interview was on the 30th of December in 2017. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm just going to read a quote from that interview.
Yep.
She says, "Oh, I've already had words with him. I told him to keep his fucking dog over there and he told me to shut up. And I said, come over here, and I went to jump the fence and Patti just ran inside, weak as fucking piss."
I just love the way they speak.
I know. So then Fran had obviously worked Owen up as well, right?
Yeah.
And so
You just imagine those conversations of like, he's done this to me, he's done that to me, no. And that's happened over like 7 years. But when it gets told to you in a small space, it's
in
like
3 months or less than 3 months.
He would have, I can imagine anyone being like, a bit like, well, this guy's a piece of shit. And I'll look out for you. That's what he's being paid to do, basically.
Yes,
and he gets free accommodation for it.
This bit is what gets me.
Yeah.
As Fran's going to Darwin, so she's told Owen at this stage that Patti has thrown this dead kangaroo carcass at her.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah.
And she says to him, hang on, don't do anything stupid. I'm going to Darwin. I don't want to have to come back and bail you out of jail. Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah. You know what he's potentially able to do.
The fact that you're even saying that means that you think that's possible.
Well, yeah, because, I mean, against Fran too, a little bit in all this, there was a point where in the inquest this was brought up. We hadn't got to that there was an inquest, but in the inquest,
I think we're kind of at the inquest because they started the inquest on the 7th and 8th of June in 2018.
Yeah,
and then they had another inquest or continued the inquest after that. But let's talk about that now.
Well, so at the inquest, it was raised that there was a time where Fran is accused of asking someone to get rid of the old man, i.e. Paddy, and wanting to pay them 10 grand.
Yes.
So she denied that at the inquest, but there is evidence of it.
Yeah. So what that is? So the inquest brought about some characters that we hadn't heard of really at this point, right? So on the 11th of July in 2019, Wayne Ledwidge, I think is his surname, he made a statement to the police. He came forward to the police to make a statement.
Yeah.
He said that on a date in late 2017, he attended the Catherine Government Centre with his neighbour, Brian Roberts. While he was at this office, he later identified. So he didn't know Fran, but he later identified this person to be Fran. So keep that in mind.
Yeah.
And Fran spoke to his mate, Brian, who was there at the time, and said, hey, Brian, how are you? Wayne then says that Brian and this woman, who he then later said to be Fran, had a conversation that went as follows.
Yeah.
She said that the old man was still giving her a hard time and has taken her to court, costing her a lot of money because she bloody had to pay for all of the court proceedings that she brought upon him.
Yeah.
She said she needed to get rid of him and she would pay $10,000. She said she had $9,000 in cash, but she could get more. Now, around this time as well, Fran had given Bobby $30,000 in cash to keep in her freezer. When the police found out about this, Fran was like, yeah, that's just me super.
It's me super.
But why was she stashing cash? I mean, I guess her business would have mostly been cash.
Yeah,
I guess
really
it would
know.
have been.
Yeah, it would have been cash because they wouldn't have had any internet service to be tapping anything on a card or whatever.
But the pub had FPOS. How would that have worked?
Oh, that's true. Oh, I guess you can do it remotely.
Yeah, I guess maybe, and maybe they had to connect once a week to process all the transactions or something. I don't really know how that would work.
No.
Anyway.
Oh wow.
So yeah, both Brian and this Wayne say that conversation took place.
Yep. So there's a bit in it.
There's a bit in it.
The coroner at the inquest did conclude that he was likely killed. And in the context of ongoing feud he had with his nearest neighbours.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the coroner didn't name anybody in that inquest, but there was inference that that's potential cause of death, which no cause of death was named either. He couldn't, because you don't have a body. Yeah. We don't know, but we also no named perpetrators.
Yeah.
So that from that, it was really referred to the police again to do further investigation.
That's right.
But it's, oh my God.
I know. It's so the inquest, so they then had 4 years basically before the inquest resumed.
Yes.
And there was more evidence tendered at the reinstated inquest.
Yeah.
And that was when this Brian and and Wayne gave their evidence. But then in the same turn, Fran gave evidence to say that she never even knew Brian.
Yeah. Conveniently.
Very convenient.
Yeah.
She also denied that she'd ever offered money to anyone to have Patti killed. Okay. Do you want to have a quick chat now about the listening devices?
Oh, let's get there.
This is interesting.
I find this really interesting. And again, if you watch the documentary, it's very Jinx style.
Yeah.
We'll ruin that for you now. But so you get to the end of it and there's some recordings that are played. Now, those recordings are played in that as like one chunk. That's actually not how they really were in reality. Not to take away from the impact of them.
Oh, for sure.
100%. But I actually think this gives it even more credit in terms of what is said.
I think
because
so too.
These recordings were actually made over a period of time.
Yeah,
so from January 9th, 2018
Yeah.
through to June 5th of 2018.
Yeah.
So as much as you get this chunk of a recording at the end there that is, you kind of go, what the fuck? Like, they were taken out of context of being over a period of time. So this isn't just one day these recordings occurred and that this was said. So basically there's a recording of a male's voice and these recordings were from listening devices that the police put in Owen's bungalow. Now, Owen at the inquest says that it's not him on the recordings. So the only way of like determining who this is the fact that it was his bungalow. What other males going in there when he hasn't spoken to anyone in town? He doesn't have a friend in town. He didn't have people over. Like,
The only person he associated with was Fran.
She's female and this is a male voice.
And she's got a very distinctive voice.
Very high pitched. Like and this voice is quite gruff.
Definitely.
And low. Bit of singing-ish, kind of almost.
Well, chanting? I don't know what you'd call it.
No. So there's a few bits out of this that we can read from the transcript. It gets so it is. It's. I think it's pretty damning evidence, really. But I guess the fact that we don't have definitively it was him, but circumstantially, who else would it be?
Oh my God, who else would it be?
So it starts with January 9th in 2018 where you get this fucking idiots. Yeah, tell them what I've done. Hit with the fucking hammer. Yeah, tell them how I've hit you with fucking hammer. Hey, how you inaudible.
Yeah.
So goes on. And then another cut, in February again. Well, they didn't fucking find the hammer. Well, they can't get me for anything.
Do you find as well he uses the word like killerate? I killerated him.
Yep.
I killerated him.
Killerate and hammer. I say it's
Killerated a killerator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Killerator. Yeah. Singing. He was sort of sing-songy with that because he had a bit of a guitar he was strumming away when he was doing it that time. I got a slobbery bunch of coconuts. They're rolling in the bay. Rolling in the bay. I killerated old Paddy with that fucking killerated him. I struck on the fucking head and killerated him. Struck him on the fucking head and killerated the bastard. Struck him on the head and killerated him. Struck him on the head and killerated him. Basherated him. Doof.
Basherated him.
Yes, he did. Basherated him. Oof, me cock.
Me cock. Do you think he actually like accidentally bashed his cock then? Like, do you reckon he
maybe on the-
bumped himself? Oh, cock.
You may be.
When I read that, I'm like, I think that's probably what happened there because it doesn't make sense to any. I mean, not that any of this gibberish made sense. Just really quickly, I also love the fact that there's one of the recordings on the 25th of February where he's like, "Fucking killer bastard, you killed fucking Patti up the bum."
Yeah.
I'm like, what does that mean?
Oh my God. Yeah. But he also does
But then
mention...
he says, I donged him on the head, I punched him in the nose. Like, there's so many references to different ways that he potentially hurt or...
But, definitely this Bok one where he talks about smacked him up the nostrils.
Yeah.
Ruby snickering, snicky, snoo. I don't know who Ruby is.
No.
Because Ruby gets mentioned a couple of times. And look, as I say, these are recordings from, days over the course of, 6 months.
Yeah.
There would have been absolutely a whole lot of other things recorded. Like, I mean, he's one man in a room. Like, how much is he talking to himself? I guess you do talk to yourself when you're on your own. So, there would have been recordings that we don't get because they're not related. But,
for sure.
Yeah. So you're only getting here the snippets of bits that are related to this case because anything else they just get rid of.
Yeah.
But he does mention the dog as well.
I know. And he's
So,
like, I kill dogs, I kill pups or something like that.
Ruby, what did you do with my book? I kill you myself. I kill pup dog. I kill pup dogs. Ha 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 ha. Bye, see ya, goodbye. Hooroo, bye. See ya, bye bye. Hooroo, bye. So to me, I don't know. I guess they're the ramblings, and we've talked about that before. Like, that.
What do they mean?
What do they mean when they're a bit rambling?
Like you think about the scrawlings, for example, of Lucy Letby, right? That comes to mind.
Yes.
It gives me a similar vibe, although Owen's are just verbalised, not written down on a post-it note.
Yeah.
But it's really hard, and I think the coroner really struggled with this.
Yes.
Can I read the coroner's finding?
Oh, please do.
Findings?
Yes.
So, so what he says is, in my opinion, Paddy was killed in the context of and likely due to the ongoing feud he had with his nearest neighbours, being Fran and Owen. He likely died on the evening of the 16th of September 2017. He had ridden home from the hotel, put the mostly eaten chicken in the microwave, put his wallet on the table and his hat in its usual place, put the dog food in the dog's bowl and got his own meal out of the freezer. He then went outside with his dog. There is no evidence as to where he went. However, it is likely that the new plants at Fran's place were of some attraction.
I.e. something's gone on out there that attracted him. Which, something we didn't mention too, was that there were 2 phone calls made from the phone booth.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Which was, that phone booth was out the front of Fran's place. Both those 2 phone calls were made by Owen.
Owen, yep.
So we know the timing of when Owen was outside the front of his house, directly where Paddy could see him.
Yeah.
So maybe there's been noise out there. Now, the other thing is that was noted by some of the residents. Not everyone agrees this, which is interesting.
Yeah.
But there was a gunshot heard by some of the residents on that evening.
Yeah.
So the thought being that potentially something's gone on out the front that's attracted Paddy to come out of his house with Callie, as Callie follows him everywhere. Because I find that interesting. There's a bowl of dog food, but the dog, enough of what the attraction was that Callie's like, I'm going with you. I'm going to move my food. I'm coming with you.
Which you think for a dog, like...
Yeah, what's been that much of a pull to come out? Mm-hmm. So then the gunshot, maybe he's shot the dog.
Oh, this is my theory.
Then he has hit Paddy with a hammer and killed him as well.
So I think that is my theory as well.
Yeah.
So I think, Owen's been outside. What was he making the phone call for? That he had... There was a legitimate reason he needed to make a phone call. I just can't remember what it was off the top of my head.
No.
But what I think happened was that he was out there, Paddy's gone to investigate or torment or maybe,
do his
stir
usual.
some shit.
Yeah.
And has gone out there with Kelly. Kelly's either barked or made some noise and Owen's followed through.
Yeah.
We know Owen had firearms.
Yes.
And has shot Kelly. Mm-hmm. Paddy has lost his
shit.
Fucking
as
shit.
You would.
As you would.
Yep.
And it's escalated to the point where Owen's then killed Paddy. Now, there are so many places out there that you could hide or get rid of a body.
Because the other thing is that in this, like, you sort of go, okay, well, there's got to be evidence then of that. There was solid searches. There was no blood found but there was a huge dump of rain that night.
Yeah.
That would have washed away into that dry
Blood
dirt, red dirt, blood or anything like that was there. When if you think a dog shot once, one bullet.
And depending on where you did it.
Exactly.
Like if it was in the head. Then
where that dog was shot, you don't know. There may not have been a hell of a lot of blood. Even if he's hit him on the head with a hammer. Again, maybe not a hell of a lot of blood from that.
Or did he kill him in situ? Did he kill him there? Or did he take him away and kill him elsewhere? We don't know.
We don't know that. So I can sort of come at this. So they did take his car at one point, early in this. They did take his car and investigate that, and there was nothing found in there.
Yep.
Nothing found in the bungalow as evidence. So I do believe this happened all externally. And there's a theory also that maybe Paddy was fed to the crocodile.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if I'm going back to our Carol Baskin case. That seems to be something that maybe couldn't happen. That crocodiles wouldn't eat it. I don't know.
Or they the bones. They'd eat the tissue, but not the bones. Was
Yeah,
it?
I think there'd still be stuff left over from that.
Yeah, there'd be evidence.
And those sorts of things were checked. Those areas were searched.
Do you reckon it's funny, though, that the residents, I think it was Barry actually, was like, well, the crocodile was looking pretty fat.
Yeah. They want to stir shit.
Yeah.
This is the thing, and point fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that there's a possibility of him being able to get rid of that body of the dog and Paddy.
Oh, I think there would be any number of places that he could have gotten rid of that body.
Yeah. And the other one that I do come back to with all of that is that Karen of Mark and Karen, the mechanics, she says that she saw at the dump some puppies that had been killed. Now, Richard did have 5 puppies from some dogs that he had. Now, he is adamant that those puppies went to homes and he didn't kill those puppies. But Karen swears, and no one else saw it, but she swears she saw puppies dead in the dump. But I just wonder, was it Callie that she saw?
But she said she saw multiple puppies.
But I don't know. I mean, if you're looking at
And I guess it's down in a dump. Like
down in a dump like that, could you be assuming it's something that it's not?
Not.
I mean,
Well, she found it really suspicious that Richard one day had these puppies and the next day didn't.
and he said, yeah, because I gave them to their owners.
Yeah.
I got rid of them,
Yeah.
but in a way that was humane.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could believe either.
Yeah, same actually.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
my God.
Oh, there's so many bits to this.
Oh, so many.
But the audio recordings seal it for me.
Yeah, agreed. Same.
And he will not speak. Owen has he enacted his right to silence. He really did not answer questions at the inquest.
No. Well, he was told he didn't have to.
Yep.
And that anything he did say could potentially incriminate him, so he opted not to say
Yeah.
anything. I think that was probably a good move.
Yeah.
Although I feel that's a massive injustice to Paddy and whatever happened to him. So, but yeah, nobody's to this day. We're in 2025 now, into 2025, and nobody has been found guilty of anything that happened to Paddy, of his disappearance or presumed murder.
Yeah, well, the DPP have come out and said that, no charges will be laid because the evidence was insufficient to support any criminal charges.
Okay.
So the police investigation does remain open and there is a $250,000 reward being offered for any information. But, I mean, I think it's pretty tricky. Like,
Imagine what 250 grand would buy you in Larrimah.
Oh, I mean, God, the whole town.
Yeah,
easy. And some.
Yeah. Maybe Mataranka as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Paddy's home currently is up for auction.
Yep.
So it's empty. Like, it didn't sell yet. It's been there like that for 7 years.
Yeah.
So it's pretty dilapidated now, even more so than it was back then.
Yeah, I think a lot of there's been, off the back of Paddy's disappearance, there's been a fair bit of movement in Larrimah.
Oh yeah.
So I think after all this happened, Barry Sharp ended up leaving the pub.
Well, he ended up getting very
pub.
sick. He's got cancer now too. Oh no, sorry, he's died. Sorry,
He passed away.
He passed away from cancer. Yeah.
I believe like a young Czech couple took over for a little while, and the first baby in like 50 something
like that
years was born in Larrimah.
Yeah.
But the Czech couple are no longer there. I believe it's owned now by another couple.
Right. Okay.
Actually, it might be like a German man or something. I did look this up. I've just had a mental blank. I'm sorry, but it's the Czech couple have moved on, and it's now owned by somebody else.
You couldn't raise a kid there 'cause there's no school. I mean, a certain age the kid could be there like that.
Well,
but,
you could do remote schooling.
Yeah.
That's what all our
But I mean, there's
kids
no
do.
other kid.
No, there's no other kid for them to
them to
interact
even
with.
play with.
Yeah.
Yeah, very
that'd be
isolating.
really tough.
Yeah.
That Fran's daughter lives in Melbourne.
Yes.
And Fran herself was diagnosed with cancer, and so she moved down to live with her daughter down in Melbourne.
But her and Billy are
back together. Back on.
But he's still living in
he's in Larrimah. He's moved back into their house.
Yes, she's allowed to move back in there.
Yeah. Seriously, I just can't keep up.
I love it.
But yeah, Fran.
Do we think that Fran? I mean, how much?
Do you think it's interesting? Her daughter, in the documentary talks about how obsessed her mum still is to this day
Yes.
with Patti.
Yeah.
And the feud with Patti. She talks about it every single day. She is obsessed. She needs some counselling.
100%.
Get the woman some counselling. She cannot let it go.
No, because my gut instinct on it is that her direct involvement in this, I do not think that she said to Owen, kill him.
Agreed.
I think that she has indirectly got
Worked
him
him
to a
up.
point that where this has occurred.
She's been at him. Like,
Yeah.
just listening to her on the documentary about how much she hates Patti.
Yeah.
She's at him. She would be at him. At him. He
that
probably
voice
went,
would just-
I've got to fucking kill this bloke just to shut
shut
her
her
the fuck up.
Oh my God. Yeah. I think that indirectly, and I do think there's guilt there, and that's why she can't let it go.
Yeah, okay.
Like, and I think that she fears her indirect knowledge and participation will come and bite her in the ass.
Yeah.
So she's got to keep talking about it to make sure that everyone knows that she didn't do it.
Do it.
Like,
yeah.
that's my gut instinct on her.
There's a couple of times in the documentary, though, that I'm like, oh, you know so much more than you're letting on.
Yeah,
Like, she
but I
has
think
like
that
a little smirk at some points.
She knows she's said things that's planted seeds there, but like, and has built it to this point where this has happened. I think there's underlying guilt.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
And how much involvement then you put on her of like what she did to actually make this be the ending of it. Like, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But I love that, like, Cookie also, he's decided to leave the town, but he's got to wait for his property to sell so then he can move to Tassie with his wife.
Yeah. But, I mean, that's been on the market for the same 7 years, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good luck to them.
Yeah, like, so these days, I mean, to live out there like that, it's so remote.
Like extremely remote.
Back in the day, there wouldn't be. There's no the difference between living in that kind of remoteness to city life would be appealing, I think.
Yes.
But these days, it's so disconnected, so remote.
Yep.
Oh man.
Agreed.
But $30 for $30,000 for a property sounds
Nice.
good too.
Yep, that's true. That's very, very true.
Yeah.
Just to end today, can I ask for a commitment from you
Oh God.
and
No.
me to never have a feud about pies?
Oh, let's not. Let's not.
Let's never.
I think we can probably really commit to that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Great. I'm happy with
'Cause
that.
you know what?
Let's end on that positive note then.
Pies are great, but I kind of don't have any, like commitment
Skin
to
in the
them.
game. Hard agree.
Whether you like a 4 and 20 or you don't, I really don't care.
Good to know. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us again on the second last episode of the year.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Next week for our last episode, we're going to cover the Delphi murders. So interesting.
Really,
I'm
really
looking forward
interesting.
to deep diving into this one. Because
Yeah.
again, it's one that I know, semi well, but there's certainly updates that have
A lot of
happened
updates
recently
that have
that we need
occurred.
to get on top of. So
Absolutely.
that's where we're at. And then
Yes.
just letting you all know, we will be taking a 3-week break over Christmas.
Yep.
And the first episode of 2026, oh my God, will come out on the 13th of Jan.
Yep.
So just a few weeks there. We will probably be, releasing a Patreon-only episode over that time. So if you want to
Maybe
join
we'll
us...
have a bit of champagne with that one, hey?
Oh, at least.
Just a few.
Just a few. So if you would like to join us on Patreon for that reason, please hop over to patreon.com/2crimebesties and...
Two with a TWO.
Crime Besties, and we'll see you over there.
For sure. Stay curious, crime besties.
Bye.